Is it going now?
There was Gorilla House, then there was the Rumble House. Now there's the Isle of Roux, where no one can tell us what to do. What to do? Which tale? 1 year ago.
I'm multitasking.
1 year ago, there was the first Isle of Roux that we put out, and that's pretty fun.
That's a year ago?
Yeah, it was
On this
January 1st. How did I get 5 days off? I don't know. Oh, because it went back a day rather than forward a day. Like, the days shifted. It was the 31st this year instead of the 1st.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so we missed it by a week.
A week, yeah.
Or 6 days.
Yeah, 6 days.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because
So,
there was
that
like
makes sense.
there's like 1 week where it all resets.
Yeah, totally.
If you go long enough, it all flips back to.
It all comes out in the wash.
I couldn't find 3.
I love your
53.
problem solving. It's perfect. Okay.
How do you think I got so good at problem solving?
All the problems. All the problems. Me. Is it because of me?
Yeah.
There's like
It is 100% because I married you that I got good at solving problems.
You're welcome. The Creator gifted us with this land that we are blessed to share and care for together. We acknowledge that the land we gather on Mohkinstsis is the ancestral territory of the Siksika Sitapi, the Siksika, the Gaina, the Piikani, and the Amskapi Piikani. We acknowledge all First Nations and Métis of Treaty 7 lands, the Sutena, the Ithkabi, which includes Bearspaw, Chiniki, and Good Stoney. We commit to advancing reconciliation guided by truths, respecting treaty laws, and humbly walking alongside First Nations, Métis, and Inuit. We recognize all who live, work, play, and make art on these lands and who now call this place home.
You, my dear, are a smoke show. What are we doing tonight? Tell me.
The same thing we do every night. Try to take over the world.
I don't do that anymore.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, that was a funny joke because Pinky and the Brain. I don't want to do that anymore. So what? Why
that's fair. You know, Pinky and the is that what it's called? Pinky and the Brain.
Pinky and
was
the
that on Much Music?
WWWB.
What's that? The Warner Brothers?
Yeah.
I don't think
Age gap.
No, it's worse than that. I was watching those shows.
Yeah.
But with the back of my head. So I was living by myself that year, around that time.
Yeah.
If I had TV on anyways.
Yeah.
I was living in an apartment by myself, my first apartment.
Yeah.
I was going to ACAD.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have had the TV on while I was at ACAD. There just wasn't time for that.
Right.
Is the mic working? Yeah. And then so maybe in the summer if everybody left and went back to where they came from, and I was living across the street from, I lived right behind Jezebel's or Local Lou's.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe if it was during the summertime and I had a full-time job or something, I would have watched TV in the evenings. But I'd have been drawing or writing or something.
Right at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. That was just like their line.
No, like I think I recognize it, but I don't know what it looks like. Is that a funny thing? This is around the same time that I didn't know that SpongeBob was underwater.
Right.
I thought SpongeBob was cheese. I don't know why you think that's funny.
Because I love that.
I thought SpongeBob was cheese, and it made sense that he lived in a pineapple if he was cheese. I didn't have a problem with that.
Yeah. Totally.
There was like, I would watch these shows just listening while I was working.
Mm-hmm.
And every now and then I'd look up and like a TV commercial that didn't make sense to me for like 5 years would suddenly make sense. Because if I had the TV on, it would often be on much music, but I never
Right.
looked at it, right?
Right.
And so, yeah, I vividly remember the sound of what you're talking about, but I can't. I sort of think was it a frog or something?
Two mice.
A mouse and a dog.
No, it was like a skinny mouse and a big-headed mouse.
Yeah, I'm sure I had it on all the time. I just didn't ever see it. Was his brain sticking out?
He just had a huge head, like huge cranium.
Mm.
And then Pinky was really skinny, and he'd
And
be like, "What do you want to do tonight?"
And do you know why? Do you know how I figured out that?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky.
Take over the world.
Take over the world.
That's actually pretty funny. Want to know something else funny?
Of course.
You know how McGregor teases me because he thinks I'm Napoleon Dynamite?
Yeah.
I had a Napoleon Dynamite moment today.
Yes.
And it's because my hands were filled and I was doing something, but I was hungry.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked in my lunch bag and I thought, oh, a bag of celery. And I thought, well, if it was not too sloppy, and I opened it up and it was nice and dry,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought these would fit perfectly in my pocket. So without putting on airs,
Yeah.
I started filling my pockets with the chopped up celery. But then I caught myself looking over my shoulder because I realized if McGregor caught me putting celery in my pockets, I would
over.
never live it down.
Yeah. It's really cute. That was a pretty good pocket snack.
Hmm?
That was a pretty good pocket snack. I would say actually better than tater tots.
Yeah, because they would break apart. Obviously, I'm not going to stick tater tots in my pocket. I'm stupid. That was my defense when Kevin said, do you think you might be Napoleon Dynamite? I was like, no, I wouldn't put potatoes
You
in my
should
pocket.
have said, gosh, no. Oh. And then walked away. I'm not going to put tater tots in my pocket. Gosh. You're so funny.
I put the share link up for anybody that wants to join. I find I've been talking about this a little bit. I was talking to Mark about it a little bit, about how it's not that I don't feel like making art, because I still do feel like making art, but I feel compulsion to make it badly. Or is that the right word? I don't know if badly is right. I feel a compulsion for it to be, for the human flaws. I feel myself exaggerating the human flaws, which is exactly what I would say is if I didn't like the way my drawing was going. I mean, if I was a psychopath or something.
Right.
No offense against psychopaths. Really, everybody's welcome. But
Really?
really, I am. but I feel like when a drawing is going well nowadays, it just stops looking like a human made it, right? Like, I guess there was always that inherent lack of trust that if a drawing went too well, you wondered if they traced it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, was this traced?
Tell me the truth. Tell me the truth.
And sometimes, I mean, I own a projector, so sometimes I would use my projector to, if I could find a way to make things harder with my projector,
Mm-hmm.
I would wholeheartedly dive into it.
Right.
Sometimes I would think of a way that I could use a projector that was outlandish, knowing that some of my friends would use projectors to make their artwork. And if it could subvert the way a projector worked and use it in a provocative manner that would leave my contemporaries struggling to, oh, this looks like it was projected, but how the did he do that? And then watch as they would drop by to visit the work. Like, oh, I've been waiting so long for you to come by. And
poking around.
then I did this funky painting that was intentionally meant to just confuse you. And then you show up. One time I went full scale illusionist, and
Sorry.
this is what I did. I went outside and I took a picture of the Rumble House with the camera. I took one step to the left, and it took. Well, that's not true. Let me put this differently. And the whole thing happened in this middle of the street where I could have got run over at any minute. Okay. But I went outside and I stood in the middle of the street where I wanted the picture to kind of exist, right?
Mhm.
Then I closed one eye and then the other eye, and I went back and forth with my eyes being closed so that I could get a feel for how my left eye was seeing the building versus my right eye. So you know that, like, I was like freezing my head and trying to, like, I must have looked like a nut, but really intensely trying to, like, figure out my left eye from my right eye. Just kind of bouncing back and forth in the middle of the road across the street from the Rumble House, right? Not out front of the horizon, but just in the middle of the road. Kind of, I needed to be a little bit over the line, so it's probably more in the lane heading west than the lane heading east. But I was definitely not in a safe spot.
Right.
And I worked it out that if I closed my left eye and then my right eye and then my left eye and my right eye, the difference in what I was seeing was pretty much one step. Even though there isn't that much of a gap in my head, from my vantage point, I was one step west to get my left eye, to get the photo to look like my left eye versus my right eye. You following me so far?
That's so interesting.
Yeah. So I got two photos of the outside of the gallery.
Yeah.
And I took each photo from the vantage point of each of my eyes, right?
Yeah.
Then I went inside, and it was a digital camera, so I loaded my photo into the computer.
Mm-hmm.
I opened up Photoshop, and I dropped both photos into Photoshop.
Okay.
The right one sitting in front of the left one. I decided, since I was right eye dominant, I would make that my focal eye.
Mm-hmm.
And so I used a projector and I projected the structure onto a canvas. Now I can draw fairly well by eyeball, and I can draw fairly well by
Sketch,
and I can draw fairly well by using perspective lines. Like, I have a number of ways that I could have attacked this. So nothing in the process was like making up for a deficit that I didn't know how to do something. However, I did. There's Theo.
Happy New Year. Yep, please.
Okay, no. I did decide that I wanted to affect how the image came out.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I took a blur,
yeah,
and I deleted my I deleted a large blur out of the center of the image.
Yeah.
So you basically had the center of the image was focused on my the center of the image was focused, but the rest of the image bled into two versions of that building,
mm-hmm.
which created the illusion of stereoscopic vision, the way you would see a building if you're looking at it with two eyes.
Right.
And I did that knowing that it was a huge leap in how you'd perceive a painting.
Right.
And then, suspiciously, several of my friends that I knew used projectors came by to scope out that one particular painting because they're like, what's going on here? And I said, oh, I projected it. And the reason I said that was because the clues you would use to see if your friend and neighbor was projecting something would be to look and see how flat or non-stereoscopic it looks. And it looked extra stereoscopic. So
right. Yeah.
I was being sneaky by twisting with the mechanisms that, say, like an art historian would use to, like, oh, they think this might have been, they talk about
like judging by this.
Yeah. And they talk about Vermeer quite a bit that way. Like, oh, based on this and that, we know from science that he must have used a
camera obscura,
because the eyeball doesn't really see this so much as a projection will see it.
Yeah.
I created the illusion of how that image would look like if I projected it.
Right.
And then, like I said, all the people that I thought would show up to check on it did. Yeah, right? It's simpler now. You can take somebody's painting and put it into ChatGPT and ask if it was projected, and they'll tell you pretty straight, point blank, this does not look like it was rendered by hand. And I don't have a problem with anybody projecting, by the way. The only thing that kind of irks me is, and this is what it really comes down to. I feel like the people I hear screaming the most against projectors are people that I know use projectors, and their screams against projectors, I think, are meant to deflect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, probably
also like gatekeeping a little bit, like,
yeah, but also like you're creating the illusion that you drew this by hand by going after everybody else.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of did something similar to that when I was playing drums in the apartment.
This technique because it works.
Yeah, what I did was I led the chase for myself. So I lived in this apartment. I had a drum set. It was just taking up most of my living room, and I couldn't really play it because I lived in an apartment. So I would airband drum about an inch above the skins and pretend I could hear it until I finally couldn't take it anymore. Then I just cut loose on the drums for like 5 to 10 minutes. No, maybe like 38 seconds. Not very long. But then I would immediately run into the hallway. Everybody's slamming doors, and they were trying to figure out where the drumming was coming from.
And you're like, that's it. Who is that?
It's like, I'm going to get that guy. And the reason nobody ever suspected me of being the drummer was how, like, angry everybody knew I was about the noise. And then my neighbor, who I think she maybe drank too much, passed out in the hallway and couldn't get into her apartment. And she used to do that a lot, but then I had to she's like, can I come and use your phone? So she was like plastered, and she came into my apartment. I assumed maybe she was too plastered to notice the drum set. But I was wrong, because I remember just like when she came in and she saw the drum set, she's like, you bastard. Those were funny days. Do you have water?
To drink?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't. Oh, thanks. Customers?
Yep. I'll refill it after. I'll make tea after too.
You better.
You better.
Who is that?
I think, isn't that the Who or something?
Oh, no.
What?
I took all your water.
I knew you would.
Uh-huh.
I knew you would.
What else we got here? We got some Kelly.
Yeah, so if you're joining us,
Theo.
Kelly's in her studio, Theo's in his studio, and Zach's here joining from the studio. Hi.
Hello.
Zach, you look so handsome today.
I knew I was going to be on the show, so I went to my beautician. No.
I'm
pretty low maintenance.
I like the mustachio and the stubble beard.
The 3-day beard is my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old
That's
are you?
my favorite part about being a tradie.
How old are you?
Oh, I'm not telling.
Ish.
I think he's
Uh,
years younger than
oh.
me.
Did you ever see on TV WKRP?
It rings a bell. That's ringing a bell.
So there was a DJ on WKRP, Dr. Johnny Fever, who always had
Yeah.
a 3-day beard, and I remember thinking that was I remember thinking that was a cool look.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't actively, chomp on his bite, you might say, on his style. However, I found myself towards like I'd grow my hair out a bit, and then I'd have the urge to get a longshoreman jacket, and then this would look better with a toque. And then I realized one day, I think when he passed away, and they had him in the newspaper, and they had him in the toque and the longshoreman jacket, I was like, I think I modeled myself after this guy. But what I like is the thicker mustachio paired with the thinner beard is a good look.
Like I call it like recovering from a mustache. That's what I call it. Like
I get that.
if you went, yeah, if you took it down to the wood and now you've given it 3 days to come back. That's recovering from a mustache.
How often do you shave the mustache completely away?
The urge comes. It's like probably 2 or 3 months of mustache, push a full beard, get rid of it all.
When it all goes off, are you mortified with your face?
Yeah. I mean, I just filmed some art painting last night.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if it was an unflattering angle or if I'm getting fat, but oh man, I'm like, if I'm baby faced and fat, it's like I look like the antagonist from Dune.
Okay. I think you're very handsome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I gotta chew more gum or something. Or just keep chin up.
No, the kids do this. They do this. They go, you can't see me. Where am I? Like this.
Mewing.
Yeah.
Mewing?
Yeah.
They exercise their jaws by pushing their tongue to the roof of their mouth and like.
Oh yeah, that's like some etiquette.
Yeah.
Isn't that like
100%.
Yeah.
You're full of surprises.
What's that called? Isn't there like some British school of etiquette? What's that called? Victoria
I
something?
think it's called growing up in Zach's house.
Oh. I know what all that silverware does. I know all of that does.
Do you know that Jesse and I eat exclusively off of silverware?
Like proper silver?
Silver. Yeah.
Silver.
Oh, that's so good.
Do you know when it started?
No.
About a year ago, I had a dream that the werewolves were attacking, and I didn't have any silver to fight them. But then when I woke up, I didn't think, oh, I need like silverware in case a werewolf attacks. I thought, I wonder why people have silver and don't eat off of it on the regular. And Jess said it's because it tarnishes. And when you wash it, it tarnishes. But then she actually corrected herself to say, well, it tarnishes if you
Don't use it.
if you don't use it. And then she corrected herself again to say, it turns out that using it keeps it from tarnishing it. And the only problem is you can't put it in the dishwasher. So people with dishwashers might own silverware, but they don't use it because they don't want to do the dishwasher or do the hand washing. But we do everything hand washing, so it wasn't a concern. And so it turns out her mom had like double extra silverware and was thrilled to give us her silverware.
Whoa.
We eat all our meals exclusively off of silverware, but I gotta tell you, I like the way my food tastes better off of silver.
There's such electricity off of silver. That's so good.
here's something else: is I kept losing my wedding ring. It's white gold.
Mm.
It's the exact same size as my silver wedding ring. And why do I have two? Is because I would find that I'd taken my wedding ring off because my finger was aching. And silver never aches my finger.
Mm.
The exact same ring made of gold, when my hands get like sweaty or swollen, like the knuckle aches, and end up like just taking it off for a little break, but then I end up absent-mindedly putting it somewhere safe, and then when my mind kicks back in, I can't remember where the safe space was. And so I decided, since my silver, what's it called? Is it called silver gold? It's silver, white gold. My white gold ring, turns out it's kind of expensive, so I didn't want to risk losing it. But I did find that when I started wearing the silver ring, my finger never aches anymore. And so there's the silver in my hair. There's the silver in all of my cutlery. And then on top of, like, when we started shooting photos, to be honest, I hadn't really pieced together how photos worked until I started learning about how it's all silver. And little tiny particles in the film, they're not exactly tarnishing, but what they're doing is very much like tarnishing. So, silver has become a big part of my life. In fact, I might say it's my favorite element.
Silver season.
Yeah.
It's pretty hot. That's pretty hot take. The silver's doing really unprecedented things right now. Chasing gold.
Yeah.
Chasing gold. The silver's at an all-time high.
You mean like
it's flipped markets? Yeah, these gold markets, like marketplaces, like whatever, like the Cairo market.
Yeah.
Have a hookah, buy some gold. Then no one's doing that anymore. But it's a silver boom.
There you go.
I ended up with a diamond that I didn't want. You can probably imagine a story behind that, but I had a diamond, and I wanted to get rid of it. And so I ended up taking it to one of those. The first thing I did was I was working with, when you're a teacher, most of your staff is often female. So I went to the staff room one day and I said to the staff, "Hey, I've got this $5,000 diamond I think I'm going to get rid of." The truth is, I wanted to get rid of the diamond because I saw blood diamond. And, and I just couldn't live with it in my house anymore. Like, it really bothered me. And it's funny because the reason I had the diamond was my mom had a bunch of jewelry because her parents were wealthy. And some boneheads broke into my parents' house and stole their safe. Inside the safe, they probably accumulated about $37 worth of stolen pawn shop jewelry. But to my mom, she lost her entire family inheritance, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And also, though, my mom never wore her jewelry because she was afraid of losing it or spoiling it. And so she ended up having it long enough to never wear it and then regret not having worn it.
Never worn it. Oh.
Yeah. So I decided after seeing Blood Diamond, I couldn't stomach having this diamond because, okay, back in time. This boneheads broke into the house, stole the safe, probably got nothing out of it. They were hitting every house on the block in order.
The wet bandits.
The cops knew that they'd taken out half of Kenyon Meadows, and they were just sort of like biding their time until they eventually just trapped the guys in the back alley. But they weren't even like being sleuthy about it. They were like, they'd hit 936, 937, 938, right? Like, it just went down the block. And when the stuff was gone, my mom said, "Well, okay, so this is how much the jewelry was worth." I think my sister got a larger portion of it because she's a female, but they wanted me to have one ring or something. But I couldn't get money. It absolutely had to be jewelry. And so I ended up getting a single diamond on a necklace that I could give my daughter Robin. Robin wasn't really old enough to have a diamond necklace. And I saw blood diamond. I realized like my mom kind of made a big deal out of how I was getting a $7,000 diamond for the price of $5,000 because of some special trade deal that they worked out.
Ooh.
And that later on realized that was the trade deal, is that I had a blood diamond in my apartment. So I wanted to get rid of that. I took my $7,000 diamond, which I was really got from getting the insurance money from a $5,000 diamond, to one of those diamond dealers.
Mhm.
And they offered me $120.
Woof.
I'm like, how can you possibly? And they had diamonds in their cupboards for $7,000, but they're buying them for $120 and selling them for $7,000, and that seems pretty normal for people to spend that much money on a diamond.
Mm.
But wouldn't you think that all those things had kind of a resale value? Like you could take
Yeah, I mean, if the stone is cut clean, then like, isn't it the same as when you bought it? Like,
No, there's
isn't that the point? No.
no value. Is that Felix? Who is it?
Oh, it's Caitlin. Yay.
There you go. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I'm good. How are you guys?
Very good.
Hi.
Very good. Hello.
On.
What are you working on these days? What's your favorite thing?
Surviving. That's what I'm working on.
Yay.
I actually was saying to Jesse this morning that I sort of feel, what were my words? I said, I sort of feel like if I was on stress leave, but I wasn't not going to work.
Right.
Kind of like I'm
Yeah.
still going to work, but I
I'm
feel
on
like I'm on
stress
stress leave.
But like we're all still working. Like,
Yeah.
We're all still working.
Yay.
I put a hammock chair in my room so that I could feel relaxed sometimes.
I love that.
Yeah.
What is a hammock chair?
It is a chair that swings. It's like floating. It's like a mini hammock.
Did you go to Arsenault's retirement party?
I sure did.
How was it?
Very loud.
Okay.
Very busy, very loud.
I was kind of
It was-
counting on him being like so overrun that he wouldn't know who was there. Kind of like a wedding. Like
That was absolutely the case.
sometimes I say to people, "Oh, I loved your wedding," and they're like, "Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't make time for you." I'm like, "That's okay." Next time, okay,
Fine.
bud. And then like years later, they figure out you didn't make it to my wedding, did you? I'm like, how did you find that out?
Yeah. What are you talking about? I was definitely there. In
Rat
spirit.
it. Where's the rat?
No, it was very, very busy. He was inundated with people.
I bet.
Yeah.
Okay, so he wouldn't be upset that I didn't go.
No.
I was very flattered to be invited. I often tell people, like, I am so glad you invited me. There's no chance I can go, but please don't give up on me. Please keep inviting me to something.
Keep inviting me things.
Someday.
I'm very much like that too. I don't like to leave my comfort places, but I like to be invited to things even if I'm going to be like I'm not going.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I also invite people that I know won't come, and Jess is like, that's crazy that you invited them. I'm like, no, they just want to be invited. They're not going to show up. Like,
Yeah. No, I'm that person.
yeah.
I love to be invited, but I don't want to come.
That's so nice.
Hey, I wrote a new book.
I heard Nikki and I were talking about that the other day.
Did I send her a copy? I can't remember if I did. I think I said I would, and I might not have gotten around to it.
To give her a copy?
Yeah.
I don't think she has a copy.
Okay. I would love to know what you guys think of it.
I would love to read it.
Okay, we will send.
I wasn't going to write anymore. Lori called me up. She's like, "What's your future for writing?" And I was like, it was funny because I kind of spent the summer. I was looking for some new books for Felix, who loves to read.
Yeah.
And I found myself reading the publishing date of these books because I thought, oh, if it's published in 2023, it's probably AI. So I wasn't wanting to buy any books that were published after 2023, and I found myself thinking like, well, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? And so Lori called me up and she's like, what are your future plans for writing? And I said, I don't think I want to write anymore. She's like, that actually works because she didn't want to publish anymore.
Andy.
And then, so I thought we had an agreement. And then right at the beginning of the teacher strike, she phoned me up and said, do you have one more book in you? And I was like, I think I do. No, I said, well, you know, I thought we talked about this. And then she said, I need a book for 12 to 15-year-olds that doesn't suck. And I'm like, that sounds like a pretty noble project. So what is it? What?
That's great. Things are kind of up in the air with me tonight. He's flying over Calgary.
Oh, yeah.
Keep walking. Sorry.
Yeah, so I wrote a book. It's the best writing I've ever done. Not everybody loves it. I think I got a really positive response from almost everybody that read my River Troll.
Also,
I got very positive responses.
People with connections to young boys, I think. Like,
but I find my academic reader friends didn't fall in love with this book, or didn't get far enough into it to fall in love with it. I'm interested to see. No, well, I didn't mean that to be a challenge either. I'm just interested to see like what your take on it would be, because my best reader has been my librarian, who's just super eager and gives me great advice, and she's amazing, but I don't think she's read my book, and so I kind of avoid her now because it's like there's this thing. It's like here's a copy of my book, and then she didn't read it, so it's kind of hanging over.
He's like, well, yeah, of course I'll read your book. And Jess, I did get your message, but I have to wait because if I do that on my phone right now, then everything will.
The message is just a link to the book, I think.
No,
Oh,
I was
okay.
asking I was just asking for the email, because as soon as I have the personal email, then I will send it out.
I will absolutely text that to you. Or
And you
message
want to know what it's called? It's called the Silent Reader. It's just Silent Reader, not the Silent Reader. And it's about a kid that hates school, but he doesn't mind reading. He likes reading. So,
I mean, I know lots of people like that, me being one of them.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious now that I'm an educator.
How many years of education do you have left?
Oh, excuse the dogs. 20? 15?
You can't have 20 years left.
No, I think I do.
No. It's not as bad as you think.
What is being an educator a mortgage or what?
Yeah, pretty much.
So what you do, Zach, is you teach, and then you take your age plus your years of experience and you add them up, and it's got to come to 25.
85.
85, right. That was my bad words. But when you're 25 years old is what I was leading to. That seems almost impossible to reach the 85, because if you're 25 and you taught 2 years, then you're, let's say you're 23 and you taught 2 years, it could happen. Then you're like, what is that? Like 60 years away from retiring. And that seems impossible. But every year you get 1 year older, and every year you get 1 year of experience. So it's actually half of what it sounds like. But it seems like twice as much as it seems when you're at the first half of the. Yeah, it seems like you have twice as much to worry about than you do. And then suddenly it starts to seem like you have half as much to worry about.
Yeah.
But also some days that you teach feel like 5 years, just one day. So
also that math gets blurry.
yeah, like that's how teacher math works, right? Like one day equals 5 years. So like a short, like this week for us was a short week for kids. So we work all 5 days, but kids are only 4 days. Can you stop barking, please? There are people that are listening. And short weeks for kids are always a bit insane.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, they kind of lose the little brain cells that they have for those few days.
Yeah.
And so something
checked out
always,
already, yeah.
Yeah, something always kind of seems to happen. And I teach in a special program. and stuff definitely happened. Like I thought today was Friday. It wasn't. But I love what I do, so
When
that's
I
awesome.
when I was a
What
kid,
what does tenure mean?
that's like universities. If you
Yeah,
once you get
10
through, they guarantee you
Employment.
employment after 10 years. So that was kind of set up so that the government couldn't come and like take your job away for speaking truths. And then, but in reality, teachers, they don't, it might take 10 years for them to break you, but
So for us, it's more like continuous contract. That's
Yeah.
kind of like tenure for.
Oh, so it does exist on that level, but it's not called that.
Yeah.
it's what happens with teaching is your first 2 years are probationary. And
Yeah.
so you could teach 2 years and then you find out if you're getting a job, which sucks.
Mhm.
Yeah, they evaluate you and judge all of your skills.
Ooh.
Yeah. I lucked out with that though.
And then you gotta what, teach in Red Deer or something? Like what happens like if they say no? Like,
When you start, you're probably not going to work.
right. Oh, okay.
Get one shot at it.
Oh.
Well, like he said about Reggie, like you could go to other districts if you're like.
They wouldn't hire you.
Oh, if you flop the probation, it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're
And they talk.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
like there's a huge amount of teachers in Alberta. Well, and yet it's still kind of like a small field because
Mhm.
everybody knows each other. So if you do something bad in one area, right? Like in Calgary,
Yeah.
someone's gonna know in Edmonton.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially how bad it is. That could be really.
Yeah.
you know
We're a gossipy bunch.
I'm getting my teaching degree at the time that Boston Public was on TV.
I love that show.
There was a lot of saucy stories people were like working out during my case study classes, like what happens if I fall in love with one of the parents, and it's like that was on TV last night, you twerp. But one of those conversations about teacher etiquette, and I think there really needs to be a lot more conversations about teacher etiquette, was they were pointing out this story about how all the administrators had gone up north for a teacher convention. Did I leave this out?
Oh, I might have.
Oh, you're using that? That's
You
nice.
can.
I was going to steal it from you,
Okay.
so don't leave it out.
I'm gonna put it here.
The head office guys went out to a development meeting in the north of Alberta, and at a strip club came across one of their teachers stripping. And it was a scandal that they had to fire her for being a stripper and a teacher. And I thought, that's interesting. The other day, I thought for the first time, it's interesting looking back that they would have told that story.
That they weren't.
Yeah, and
ashamed that
somehow
they were at the strip bar.
somehow being at the strip club was acceptable, but the teacher making augmenting her salary was unacceptable. It's crazy, first of all, that happened, and secondly, I'm sure somebody in the class would have said it, but it hadn't struck me the irony of it to that point. I do remember, like, when I used to go to Value Village when I was a teenager. It's a different feeling going to Value Village because you don't have money for clothes than it is because you're edgy. And so I remember feeling like very embarrassed going to Value Village, but I explained to my daughters when we were young, like, they were like, what happens if we see somebody when we're at Value Village? And it's like, well, if you see them, they're also at Value Village. They'll probably think you're cool, right? Like,
yeah.
But it is very, very strange to me that as an adult, when I was 30, so not that long ago, this shocking story about one of the teachers being a stripper who was busted by the head office staff, and nobody had a problem with the head office staff being in the same venue.
There's a lot of things wrong with.
Yeah, right.
Structure.
And but one of like that class in general, there was the law and ethics class, and it's really poorly structured because it goes through court cases,
right,
which our teaching certificates and our permanent certification and legal proceedings are two very kind of different systems.
Yeah.
So it's really like when we have well, our professional committee is different now, but when they used to have a professional committee, like there could be a court case, and then these teachers that have been accused of unprofessional conduct or whatever the case may be
Yeah.
would then go in front of a completely different panel of individuals to discuss whether or not they've committed a breach in terms of teaching and unprofessional conduct, and they decide, not the government, not or not a legal proceeding of whether or not they get to teach or keep their permanent certification. So even in that case, they could have fired her, but she could have filed for wrongful dismissal for many different reasons, and probably had an instance where she maybe did not lose her teaching certificate, right? Where she wasn't with that district anymore, and that could have been a whole nother
I think
set of
what
proceedings.
situations is nobody ever gets fired. They just make you uncomfortable till you leave.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
but the problem with the education program is that they do this law and ethics class, but it doesn't actually teach teachers what actually happens when you break a professional code of conduct or the ethics, because that's kind of a very different proceedings, and we do a disservice to incoming teachers because they don't know, right? They know not to do illegal things, but they don't know that, there are other things that aren't illegal but are considered misconduct that could cause them to lose their jobs.
Yeah.
I really find that I was lucky that my mom was a teacher, and she really, like, even just growing up, she told me all the details of what was gonna.
Yeah. Well, and that's me as well, right? Both of my parents are teachers, and my mom was on the discipline committee. She was a chairperson for that. So that was one of the things that she did, and she decided the fate of teachers who came in front of her, of whether or not they got to keep teaching.
Yeah.
That's intense.
Very
Whoa.
intense. I
The
heard
head of
some
the
crazy
axe.
stories.
There's two other things that I was talking about quite a bit today. And one of them is because if you're like a number of our friends, if they turn 55, their pensions get locked in. So as you approach 55 and your pension, everybody you know starts giving you the pitch on, like, oh, it's time to pull your pension and resign and then reapply. Now, I don't have a problem with anybody doing that, but there was a pattern I was noticing with everybody that spoke to me about it. Other than, like, just yesterday, I spoke to a few people about it, and they were all sort of outside of the pattern for the first time. So I was able to get kind of a more objective take on it. But I would generally say the thing that kept me from doing that, I still have time, but I'm getting closer to when I need to make that decision. But the thing that kept me from wanting to do that was there's a weird gleam in the eye of everyone that's ever told me I should pull my pension. It's the same gleam that people have right before they try and sell me Amway. So I'm like, why is this person so interested in what I do with my pension? And they always have the same crazy gleam in their eye. And so I wanted to find out, like, what is the hustle here? And there's nothing nefarious about it other than the fact that, like, there's just this crazed look on everybody's face when they suggest that I do it. Okay, so a couple things. Nobody talks to you about how to handle those retirement moments.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the people I asked this week, like, hey, before you turned 55, did you think about pulling your pension? They're like, I didn't hear about it till I was 57. And then the other thing that came up quite a bit was, and this is actually a gender situation. Almost all of the female teachers that I've spoken to that are getting close to retiring can't get a full pension because most of them took a mat leave. While they're on mat leave, decided it was a good time to have a second child. While they're on their mat leave with their second child, either considered having a third child or decided that either 2 or 3 kids in daycare was more expensive than teaching. And so they ended up taking 5 or 6 years off. No one told any of them that it was going to screw up their pension.
Yeah, you have to work extra years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so I'm kind of shocked at how many people kind of found themselves in this position without warning. and it wouldn't be difficult at all. I mean, I guess there's like social things where like somebody goes on mat leave and you don't say, hey, just as you know, if you take if you have 3 more kids, then you're going to lose your pension. But
Or be working till you're 80.
well, and like how normal it is for people near the end of their careers to find out that they forfeited their pension by taking time off to be with their kids. And worst off, hopefully if the marriage works out, they at least can fall back on the spouse's support. But in situations where teachers took time off to raise their kids, messed up their pension, and then divorced their husbands before they got to the pension, that's a really big screw over. And I'm shocked that there isn't more support and coaching about that when people are sort of going through those life-changing decisions, right?
It's an interesting thing because you're not supposed to be like bringing those things up because it's a personal decision. But then, like you said, it affects you. Like,
right. And then how else would you know?
Yeah.
I knew about the ins and outs of the professional code of conduct because my mom talked about it every day at home over breakfast. Like, so-and-so breached professional prods.
Priscilla.
Yeah.
Just laying it out there.
And that's how I learned about it. It wasn't through school. And all my lesson planning I learned from my mom. Like, I would have been really in a dangerous situation if my mom wasn't a teacher.
What's lesson planning?
Question for you, Rich.
Yeah.
Anything.
Teachers are in a union, aren't they?
It's an onion.
It's an association.
Okay, well, it's your
Expensive.
association. Your association dropped the ball.
They have no power. They're not really a union.
No, they dropped the ball, and that should be part of the education process that they pass on to their members.
100%.
They never had the ball.
There's no ball.
There you go.
You pay for a ball.
That's entirely on the Teachers Association for allowing people to have that, be ignorant about that part.
Yeah.
That is totally true.
There's also a situation where all of this information about pulling your pension before you turn 55 isn't presented to the people. And part of the reason for that is the teacher's pension wants you to keep your pension in the pension. So they don't really teach you that, which would be that would be like my lean if I was going to pull it, because nobody told me about it. But the other thing I find really shocking is in my first year of teaching, I had every intention of being a sub and waiting until the dream job came. I wasn't in a rush, and all I wanted to do was substitute, and I still wanted to do graphic design. So I really got my teaching career so that I could, sort of like work intermittently between subbing and working as a graphic designer. My first year out of university, I got like ambushed by who turned out to be one of my favorite principals, but this principal that knew my mom called me in for an interview and just gave me a job. I was like, no, I think I just want to sub for a while. I'm joking when I say he put me in a headlock and gave me a job, but like, it was pretty close. Like, I said no, and then he signed the papers, and then I was teaching. And the funny thing is, I told him like repeatedly, I don't really want to take a job yet. I just want to sub. And he's like, you're nuts. You're working for me. And then the other thing is, he kept saying, oh, well, I hire for keeps, man. Like I know it's a 1-year temporary job, but I want you to know that I hire for keeps. And so I told my mom, because I was really distressed. I'm like, Mom, you said I had to take this job. And then now he's talking about keeping me. She's like, no, he can't keep you. It's a 1-year position. And I said, well, why does he keep saying he's going to keep me? And she's like, they just do that. And then so I noticed the pattern of, in September, all they said was how sure they were going to keep me. By Christmas, they talked about how much they would like to keep me. By Easter, they said, well, we probably can't keep you. And in June, they're like, well, of course we can't keep you. And it was a weird kind of pantomime that I paid attention to, because I was looking at it from the other perspective where I didn't want the job. But because I went through this experience, I noticed the pattern of it, that every new teacher would come in for a 1-year contract, and they'd go, oh, I didn't want to stay, but they say they might keep me. Or no, they wanted to stay. They're like, I know it's a 1-year contract, but they keep telling me they might want to keep me. And then I thought that was a weird pattern. And then Jess got hired at St. Mary's. And every day she'd come home from school, she's like, I know it's a 1-year contract, but they keep saying they might keep me. And I was like, yeah, it's weird they do that. And then I wish they wouldn't. And then I didn't want to discourage her. We got to the end of the year and the whole same pattern. She got to then they're like, well, of course, we can't keep you. So I went to my 2 admin at that time. We were just chatting and I was like a little like dumbfounded that this keeps happening. I said to my principal at the time, I said, would you ever tell somebody that you were going to keep them when you know you could? And she's like, no, I would never do that. And then the VP, she's kind of on the spectrum with me. She's like, actually, we just did that the other day. And so they outed themselves. She's like, yeah, we just did that. Okay. So if you did do that, can you tell me why you would do that? And she said, it's because all the principals are making the same promises and they want the best people. And I thought, well, but if all the principals stopped making bogus promises, they wouldn't have to make compromised promises to keep up with the bogus promises, right? And she's like, well, it's just kind of the way it is. But I thought it was a strange way that so many teachers start their career out on this like bizarre false promise, and it would be so easy to fix that if everybody stopped doing it. If
everyone just told the truth.
Well, yeah, I mean that's me and autism. It's like, why? I would have been okay. First of all, I didn't want my job, but if I did want my job, I would have been way happier with somebody saying, we're going to give you a year experience and you're going to have a huge advantage of getting the job you want, versus if somebody said, we're going to try and keep you when we know we can't, right? Totally. And it was totally unnecessary. A lot of that was just, I find the unnecessary stress is really difficult to manage. Because if you start your career out on a lie, then you have no trust, right?
Yep.
That same year, I kind of got like a bad deal with my my experience with the ATA, and I've never really felt comfortable with them. So it had to do with the first strike, and they basically the strike options were some new teachers will take a pay cut. Everyone loses a prep, or we give up a day of teacher convention. I'm like, that doesn't sound right. And they assured me that they would never do it in a way that some of the new teachers took a pay cut, but that's exactly what happened. I ended up making less than I'd signed a contract for.
Yeah. The union is an onion.
It's an onion. I also think that if I ever needed the union, I've lipped off enough that I probably wouldn't get the support I need. Like,
you wouldn't get the support you need anyways.
I tend to rub people the wrong way and sometimes create problems for myself. Is another way to be responsible for that. My stepdaughter got married last week. To Mitchell. They've been going together for 25 years, which is shocking. But Mitchell and Teresa met when they were in elementary school. They started dating in grade 4. They met in grade 2 or 1. So they've known each other their whole lives. They will surely each live to 98 and a half. And whenever one goes, the other one's going to go with them.
Their birthday's the same day, too.
They have the same birthday, yeah. And I've been shooting a lot of photos, so God love them. I was talking to my friend Travis about this today. I think they really thought like it'll be a great honor for me to shoot their wedding, which it was, but I'd given away all the digital cameras and all the cameras with automatic apertures and all the cameras with any kind of focus ability. And I have an antique camera that, I know I can get a good shot if I take enough shots, but there's no way I can like account for shooting a wedding. The stress in a wedding is like missing the important shots. But Jess took photos with me at the wedding, and it turned out I got rid of all my other cameras by giving each of my cameras to each of my kids. So I said to Robin and Teresa, I'm like, I gave a camera to everybody in the family, so I'm not shooting this wedding by myself. And the 4 of us, Jess, Rich, Oliver, and Robin, took photos. I bought 2 rolls of film for each of it. It's a totally analog collection. There's 200 photos. And we killed it. Like as a group,
Mm-hmm.
We killed it. We took the best wedding photos. This is a picture I took of Oliver taking pictures. It's probably a little dark for you to see. But
So it was cool because it was last Wednesday, but because we had just taken the photos and we were just like surviving.
I don't think we even thought to
We
talk
didn't
about it because
even-
we're
yeah.
blocking the trauma.
Yeah, like
Trauma blocking.
had it all worked out.
Yeah. Didn't it? Is there a monster attacking?
No. Oh, I think so.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I finally did. I'm doing a mold.
What I want to hear is
Uh,
finish the book reading I gave you. What did we talk about? Hunger Games. Where?
I
How's
haven't
Hunger
finished
Games,
them.
Kelly?
What?
How's Hunger Games going?
How the what? Hunger Games? I can't find the book.
Not
It's
well.
under all the papers.
Not well. But what are you working on, you said?
I'm not talking about the mold till you read your Hunger Games book, Kelly.
I'm working on so this stuff is you can't breathe it in. It's hydrocal.
Yeah,
So
don't
it's
drink.
molding material.
don't
They,
drink it
they
either.
use it in the film industry and stuff.
Yeah,
Cool.
I had to wear a mask and everything when I was mixing it.
yeah.
That's good.
And so the molds I have are latex. I
Yeah.
got them. I'm trying this out. So
Do you double check?
and then you do hydrocal in them.
Nice.
Do you double check you have the right filters?
On your mask.
Yes.
What number filter do you need?
I have this thing. This is actually called Forged Air. And it has a filter on it and a plastic shield as well. It works really good.
You
Nice.
double checked it's the right filter?
I did. I double checked because they use them in the industry.
Good.
I had filters that were the wrong filters for years.
But they say you like the first time I did it with this is what happened when I used plaster of Paris. I guess I didn't wait long enough and his arms broke off.
Right.
Oh no. Oh yeah, yeah.
He's happy, but he has no arms.
That's okay. It's all good
But the
learning.
detail's really cool.
To
I don't
just
know how hard this is.
Yeah.
If I were to drop it, it'd probably break. But the hydrocal is apparently closer to cement.
Hmm.
So I'm hoping it works. We'll see. Because you have to have like lots. I have heat going in the basement, so I'm dying of heat.
All for the art, eh?
Yeah. And so we'll see how this one works. You actually have to I had to do the mold out. You have to kind of put soapy water in there. It's kind of like a release. So
Yeah.
the hydrocal can come out.
That's good.
So you have
What-
to
how-
pour it in,
what's the
get it
weight?
into all the crevices. What?
Is it heavy?
The hydrocal?
Yeah.
I won't know until I actually bring it out.
Oh,
This
oh,
one was
oh,
really
yeah. Oh,
light.
okay.
This one was really
Mhm.
light because it's plaster of Paris. But the hydrocal, we'll see how heavy it is. I don't think it's much heavier. But you can do anything with it. Like you can make sculptures and stuff. Like how it works is you can paint it on your sculpture and then you take the sculpture out. They use it for mask making and everything like that in the film industry. So
Oh, cool.
I had to do some extra research on how it's going to demold. I'm hoping it demolds this way. If it doesn't, I have to use a spray.
Cool.
So I just wanted to sacrifice two of the plaster or two of the latex molds. I have another mold that's coming. It's a giant bear head. So if this works, then I will use it on the bear head.
What are you doing to
Ooh.
vent the space?
It's fine. There's no toxic fumes or anything. It's just the
Yeah.
dust.
Sergeant Safety.
Yeah. So it's just the dust that floats in. But I have it in a. Like
Hopefully you're smoking cigarettes down there.
No.
Zachary, are you smoking cigarettes?
Not in my studio. I would if I could.
Is Zach short for Zachary?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just some sure. I remember Elijah used to smoke while he's using spray cans. I'm like, you're gonna blow up.
I had a guy. I had a spray studio, and this dude Angst. He's from the prairies. He came through, and he was like, "What?" He slapped the cigarette out of my hand and said, "You're gonna blow us all up. I like my eyebrows. What are you doing?"
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I've been doing this my entire career. Oops.
My second year of teaching, I taught the 8 most violent kids in the district, and one of the kids goes, "Yo, Taylor, look at this." That's all he said. I didn't look over to the table, just from the tone of his voice. He goes, "Yo, Taylor, look at this," and I dove under the table, and I felt this flame go flying over my head, and it was him playing with axe and a lighter.
Oh my God.
As I came back up from the table, he's like, "Ha ha ha ha! You're such a sucker. There's no way I was gonna burn you." I'm like, "No, like, buddy, like the only reason that
I'm not burned
more than it did was because I got under the table, not knowing why I ducked under the table. I just dove, and but that's what it was like teaching there.
I was gonna say I would have the intuition to survive that.
Yeah, like 100% just from the tone of his voice. I dove under the table. And if I was wrong, I would have looked like a complete ass, but I wasn't
would have
wrong.
Still been
but
alive.
in this case, I was right, and they still made an ass out of me. Like, "You're such a sucker. I never would have burned you." I'm like, how do I explain to you that I felt the heat after diving under the table? They weren't bad kids. They were just very impulsive. And they always felt really bad when things went poorly, you know? This one kid, who's talking?
Someone was going to ask you.
Oh, I was gonna like did you have the young ones?
No.
Or you had the older ones when it was still
When I taught there, they had a class full of kids that were, there's one class for like, if you had a kid that was so capable of bringing bullying onto themselves that they could shut down a school, that kid would end up in class 3. If you had a kid, they had a special class for these 2 kids that were just gigantic, but like they were very starting out in life. Like there's 2 guys in the other class. They were probably collectively over 300 pounds each, in large wrestling sized bodies, but with like infant development ability. That was a different class. And then the class I taught was the 8 most violent kids. So if you had a kid that was violent enough to shut an entire school down, they put 8 of them together in my class. And then the other class was the grade 1 to 5 kids who were violent. So there's older kids that were violent, younger kids that were violent, any kids that were bullied, and some kids that were just kind of like on a different plane than us, like a different experience.
Well, so I have students in my class that are from that school.
Yeah.
And like I'm in a regular school and my students are primarily integrated into regular classes.
Yeah.
But I teach those kids. I teach kids like that.
Yeah. I remember I brought a disc in because one of the kids, they were amazing like most of the time, right?
Yeah, that's mine. Mine are incredible, lovely humans.
And then
just do crazy things.
The kids, the things that went wrong, right? Like one day I had to go to this religion convention thing for the day. And when I got back, you had to document everything. So I had one of those million filing cabinets that was absolutely full. It probably had 5,000 pages of documents per drawer, and there's 4 drawers. And when I got back to school, because they'd missed me, they kicked open my cabinet and kicked all the papers all over the room. It was like if it snowed 3 inches, that's what it was like when I got back to my room. And I needed all that paperwork to pass I was in my second year of teaching, so I needed all of that paperwork to pass my evaluation. And it just destroyed everything while I was gone. But this one kid, what had happened was January 1st, we were back at school that year, or very, very close to New Year's. And my friends were going to Brett Kilroe's house, who had the Strokes playing at his New Year's party, because Brett moved to to New York and worked for RCA Records. So he did virtually every album cover in the 90s that you might have liked was by Brett Kilroe, a guy that grew up across the street from me. My friends were like, hey, we're going to go to Brett's party for New Year's. His Strokes are playing in his apartment. Do you want to come? And I was like, well, I got to teach the next day and I'm kind of broke. So I'm gonna pass. But I got back to school, and this one kid, believe it or not, his name was Cody something. Cody says to me, you think you're so cool because you're a teacher. And I was like yelled at him. I was like, I gave up cool to be a teacher. But I brought my my disc into school to show them some of the work I'd done, because I did some album covers and and stuff. And I had the previous 10 years work experience all burned to one disc. And I remember coming into class, and this one kid was just stabbing it with a pen with little flakes of CD-ROM floating through the air. And I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, what's the big deal? I'm like, that's 10 years of my life. And he's like, I'm sorry. It's like just the depth of like sorrow that he destroyed my portfolio. And most of my kids are gone now, actually. They all passed away.
This world doesn't appreciate impulsivity.
Yeah.
Impulsivity doesn't survive.
Well,
this
you
world.
need impulsive firefighters. Somebody's got to run into
If you
that,
can zero in on the talent,
yeah.
it is necessary. But if you let it be unruly, like if you never,
Ruby, are you going by Ruby tonight? Caitlin Ruby?
You can call me Ruby. You generally do.
Ruby Soho. Jesse and I, during the strike, didn't eat celery because there wasn't enough nutrients. And in the same month, well, because there was two of us, double income, no paycheck, right? And in the same month that I told Jesse, she's like, oh, go get some celery. I'm like, I don't think so. Not enough nutrients. And we also were working in a record store. So by the end of the strike, we kind of got by. And then I impulsively spent 2 months rent on 2 cameras for us, vintage Leicas from the 1950s and the 1970s. And since the strike, we've taught ourselves analog photography, but also we then taught ourselves how to develop the negatives. And over Christmas, we got our hands on an enlarger, and we've been developing our own photos. So I picked up a new craft over the break after, ironically, starving myself because we couldn't afford food. I spent 2 months rent on
priorities. Okay.
Some vintage wicked cameras.
It's all about priorities.
Well, I would say I manage my my sobriety through records and film. So between buying vinyl records and they literally mock us at the camera store every day. We go in to get another piece.
Oh, they're nice.
They're like, stop spending all your money. You can't. Ha 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 ha. I make the same joke. This is the last thing I need. They're like, no, it's not. But that's been a real joy in my life, the photography.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And they are very nice and supportive at the camera store.
They are. The camera store. It's actually called the camera store, in case of what you're wondering. Like, it's the best store. And I found a light meter I needed for $20 less, not far away at VizTech. And I wasn't worried about the price. I just thought, like, would it be better for the guy that sells me stuff if I bought it at VizTech and just went to the camera store and gave him a $20 tip? But when I was telling him that, he just gave me a $20
price match.
Price match. Yeah, right. That's what it's called. Price match. But strangely enough, I don't even really feel like painting. All I want to do is shoot photos.
I like your paintings too.
Well, it helps to paint photos, but I'm a little obsessed. And that's what happened during the strike when we didn't have any money that I decided to buy the cameras was I really realized what's the word?
Hyperfixate.
I was hyper fixated. and I was like, I should have been. I wasn't really living my life. I was in this loop where I probably spent 50 hours trying to decide what camera I needed, and I went through 1,000 iterations of which camera I should get, and out of the 1,000 iterations of which camera I should get, 990 of them came up with Leica, and then I had to decide which Leica, and I kept running into like overlapping confirmations that I was on the right track. Like in the middle of trying to decide which camera I was going to get, I decided to look at my favorite photographers, and they were all using a specific Leica M4. And, I decided I wanted a Leica, maybe just as a novelty from the year I was born. And it was either an M5 or M4. I settled on an M4 thinking it might be close to the year I was born. I ordered it, and because I memorized the serial numbers. We were driving back in the dark. It was too dark to see the actual serial number, but I was thinking this was either the year I was born or the year before I was born. And I was a little disappointed that it was the year before I was born, but it was actually 9 months before I was born. So I bought a camera that was conceived in the same month that I was. And I really feel addicted to it right now. It's keeping my stability. And I guess maybe that's a little bit where I'm a little reluctant, where my friends and family are like, oh, I heard you're really into photography right now. Can you shoot some photos? I'm like, I need you to understand, like, I'm doing this to...
It's a me thing.
I'm doing this to maintain my sanity right now.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's just for me, maybe that's selfish. It's keeping me sane, but I don't want it to become another one of the art jobs I do. I want it just to be for me. And then we ended up shooting the wedding, and I kind of took a break for a week or two because I needed to recover from shooting and developing 200 photos. What do you think about wedding photos, Zach? I was really just testing see if he was going to say he was getting married soon. That's a fun game to play on 30-somethings. When are you getting married?
Never.
Never.
My Jess and I's mutual friends often tease me like, how did you trick her into marrying you? And then it's difficult to explain because she proposed to me. I only just recently sort of figured out why, actually. She always says really nice things to me, really nice, supportive things to me and about me and stuff. And I don't have low self-esteem. But it was like about a week ago that I suddenly saw myself through your eyes and thought, oh, it makes perfect sense that you proposed to me. That probably sounds incredibly vain, and I take it back. But what I was trying to say was, for 12 years, like if Keith said, how did you trick her into dating you? I didn't really have an answer. And then one morning the other day, I was thinking about us and what I would have looked like in your eyes, and it made perfect sense to me. And I saw myself completely differently than I'd ever seen myself before.
That's very nice.
Somebody's texting Rich to say, shut up.
Oh, that's really beautiful painting.
In it.
Oh, man.
I guess on the 1 year anniversary, I've noticed a few people missing the Rumble House. It's not me. I like what we're doing a lot better. I don't know how to talk to the people that are missing the Rumble House because I don't want to hurt their feelings, but in some ways for us, I think it's like getting out of hospital and people going, hey, do you kind of miss being in critical care? Like, would you say that's true?
That's interesting. Actually.
Or what made you decide to stop the gallery? I'm like, well, I just wanted to live into old age, and seemed like a pretty good idea to not do that anymore.
Would you ever recommend starting a gallery?
What?
Would you ever recommend starting a gallery? 100%. Like, I think we learned so much from it. Like, you learn about humanity, you learn about art and connection and that world like really fast because you are, I think like the running of something like that is different than attending or being part of like even group projects, because if it's on you, you really have to be cognizant of like how you're treating people and you're the one like responsible for it. So if it's a group thing, that gives you a different learning experience. But if it's all on you, then it's like very different because you have to kind of make up your own. We're talking about ethics and values. Like you have to kind of make up your own manifesto.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How much like brand identity homework were you just after authenticity? How the Gorilla House was just an extension of self? If someone wanted to start a gallery and they go, oh, okay, I want it to be real nice hardwood floor, this type of,
I
with
think
the correct climate control, and I want a higher echelon guest, and you like.
Can you start that question over? Because
I know I don't even know what I'm saying. Maybe I'm asking for myself. Or like if I wanted to, do it.
A couple different questions, and
Yeah.
I don't want
You want to hang your own. Yeah.
Are you saying like, how would you go about opening like a gallery that suited your aesthetic? Or are you saying like, is that the question?
Yeah, more or less.
Okay, here's what happened. Okay, I drew it. I drew it, and I didn't quite. If it was Mark, I remember Mark put up an art show, and he built the gallery out of cardboard, and then hung miniatures of his show up to see what it would look like. And I thought that was pretty wild because I would have never done that. But I was impressed that he did it. And I was thinking about the gallery, and I went into Photoshop and I made a photorealistic version of the gallery on my computer because I couldn't stand not having it. I was hyper fixated on it. And it was killing me that I didn't have it. So I created an image of it so I could have something to daydream about. After creating it digitally with my Photoshop, a few weeks later, I saw the drawing that I did, right? Like I manifested it. I do it sometimes with my friends where I'll ask them to describe their dream boyfriend or something. And I'll draw a picture of a stranger. And then a couple weeks later, they pass that stranger in the shopping mall. Since they have a photo of that person in their pocket, it kind of affects.
Bye, Theo. He just said bye.
Oh, good night, Theo.
Good night.
Like when you can see something, then you recognize it when it comes up too, right? Like, so you drew it a million different ways in different times, so you could start seeing it visually. and recognize it when it comes up. So when you saw the physical space,
Yeah.
then you were able to be like, oh, I know this. Like, and that's interesting too, because when you're talking about like how to put it together physically and aesthetically, I was like, I think it kind of came, like you said, that hyperfixation, it came from like a desperate need. Like all of the people around you were like needing shows or needing a space to like share their work, and like there's like a huge cultural emptiness for like spaces that were open to people at that time.
Yeah.
And so that was that drive, and then physically you were manifesting it, and then but spiritually you manifested it, and spiritually you protected it for 12 years, because there's lots of people that had their own ideas and that were like, oh, what if we did this together? You're like, nope. And it was super easy because you knew what we were doing.
Also though, I remembered it
yeah
from before it happened, which is like not something I can defend on a practical scientific level, but I 100% remembered every detail of it as though it had already happened. And if I went in the future and came back in time and gave myself the blueprint, I had an image of it in my mind that I was struggling to create digitally, and every detail about it had come to me as though I was remembering it before it happened. And I have no mechanism to explain that unless you believe in hocus pocus. I kind of have this theory. I don't know who else believes this, but I sort of feel like this is the feeling I've had in my life. I think if you have a good death, you get like 22 seconds to memorize all the important things you need to do. And I don't know if it's a loop or how to describe it, but I think out of sheer force of willpower, there was a number of things I memorized, and when they came across my path, I just took them. And I remember it's kind of like, I can compare this to the year I was learning to juggle. I was dropping things a lot. So I was juggling and I was dropping things. I got on the bus, and one of the older kids that I thought was pretty cool said, "Hey, that's a nice watch. Can I see it?" And I stupidly took my watch off and I handed it to one of the grade 12 kids. So I was probably in grade 10. And they thought it would be funny to play keep away. As I handed the watch to the grade 12, I saw in his face, oh, that was dumb. He's going to torment me now. And so he went to throw the watch over top of my head to his friend. And it wasn't like a soft pass. It was like a whipping, like zing. And he threw this zinger to his friend. And I remember seeing how fast he was throwing it. I thought two things. One, I'm never getting that back. Two, it's going to get broken. The third thing I thought was the watch is in my hand. And then I realized independently, because I'd been dropping balls, learning to juggle, my hand reached out and caught the watch over my shoulder behind my head without even thinking it. It's just that I dropped. Now, if you learn to juggle, you get really good at throwing and not as good at catching. But while I was learning to juggle, I wasn't that good at throwing. So that year I got really good at catching. And without even thinking it, I snagged my watch out of the air and just put it back on my wrist. And it happens so independently of skill or thought, I didn't even feel proud of myself. I was just relieved to get my watch back. Though I bet you it looked a lot cooler than I gave myself credit for. But I would describe there was 900 steps along the way to building the gorilla house, where I was in a moment and I thought, I know this moment, I got to do this right now. And I wrote a check for $9,000 when I had $600 in the bank. And somehow I had faith that $8,400 would show up before the end of the month. And Lori texted me, she's like, I need 32 drawings in 2 weeks. And I was like, I'll do it for $8,000. So, you know, there's that feeling you have when something's right. And I had that feeling. I would also compare it to the advice I give to kids about dating and chess. And this is the advice I give kids about dating and chess. On the TV show, you've got this like chessboard where one guy is here and you know, the love interest is over here. And then what happens is Ross comes this way and Rachel comes this way because she likes the attention. Ross goes this way and Rachel comes this way. And then when they get near each other, Rachel starts like running away. She doesn't want to be with Ross, but she likes that he likes her, right? So there's this dichotomy where like you're moving around this chessboard, you're not letting the other person get away and you're not letting them catch up. And that's where those like 8-season romances come from. In real life, you're on this side and they're on this side. And you go, I should go talk to that girl. And she's already halfway there, right? She's already in your face when you start thinking about moving there. And you think, but I don't know what to say. And you say something stupid and she thinks it's clever, right? Like, I think there's like when both people are moving in the same direction, it's effortless. And you can't believe you ever spent any time in your life wasted on somebody that didn't love you. And then you spend a lot of time going, I don't know if this is right, but it's kind of right. And it's really easy to fall into that trap where you think it's right when it's not. And I also think that like when you get in the right spot, it's so inevitable that you it's not a struggle and you're stupefied that you ever let yourself work so hard. So my answer is let yourself daydream about your space, doodle it, draw it, be open to it, and then keep an eye open because it'll just land in your lap. And that hopefully means you had 10 minutes before you went to heaven to memorize the key steps of what you needed to find to get here. Does that make sense? Kind of mixing a few different religions.
Yeah. Luckily, I'm a strong believer in voodoo, and I followed that quite closely. Yeah. But
you remember it. You remember what it looks like instead of inventing it. And that
that's key. I'm gonna have a Porsche any minute now.
Probably not. I don't think that works that way.
You
know why? It's like it doesn't work when you're being like in it for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean?
Right.
You could spend the rest.
I don't know what I would do with a Porsche. I could not park it in my neighborhood. I'd be fucked if I had a Porsche.
Right?
Yeah, that would ruin my life. It would ruin my life.
Imagine that guy that just pulls his own teeth out asking you for a sandwich when you get out of your car and you're like, no, man, I can't afford to give you a sandwich. He's like, how do you explain the Porsche? Like,
yeah.
I really think that there is something to, if you believe in the magic of the universe, you will get so much if you try for nothing for yourself. The more you try and give stuff away, the more things will land in your lap. But you can't trick it. You can't be greedy and give. And that's how most people get karma wrong. They think if I give this away, I'll get rewarded. You have to let go of wanting to be rewarded, and then you end up with more stuff than you can imagine. It's just all based on irony.
A lot of the like money guys, the money gurus, Roach and Napoleon Hill, and those guys.
Yep.
It's like money. You make money when you make other people money.
Yeah.
So it's like that. It's like you get gifts when you're giving all that you can.
Yeah.
It's truth.
Yeah. Alan Watts talks about that too. The big, you gotta surprise yourself. You gotta schedule.
You have to earn
the time to.
You have to earn it, let go of wanting it, and it's not until you let go of wanting it that it comes your way. And when you give it yourself and you go, I don't want it, I actually want to give it to somebody else. It's like you're still wanting it, and it'll when you don't need it, it'll land in your lap, and you'll be irritated by it. So.
Yeah.
Do you know what you actually want?
No.
I'm starting to find it right now.
I mean, I do. Deep down, I do. But it's like maybe embarrassing, or maybe it's like lackluster, or maybe I've already got it, or like I do. Deep down, I do know.
I used to think that I wanted to be able to make a living as an artist. Now I've realized I don't want that at all. And I would try and talk myself out of it by saying if I made my living as an artist, I would be obligated to make art that other people liked rather than what I like.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of took a break from selling stuff at the gallery, and then I had to make a painting for somebody, which I do sometimes, but I feel like I don't want to anymore. I don't even really. I'm so glad that my living isn't attached to my art making right now. And I guess I made a second living at the gallery. I made enough to live off of as a teacher. And I probably would have made that same amount again if I didn't put it all into the gallery. So I was for 12 years in a position where I could say I made a full-time living as an artist, only I didn't actually have any of that money, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I made enough
Yeah.
to live off of, but it wasn't me. It was
Even myself, I said it today that it was like kind of this like it's tongue in cheek to us, but I told the guy I sold a painting a week, and that was every Wednesday. He doesn't have to know that it went for $25 and we split it.
well,
but it was that like
It means something that you
it didn't matter that it wasn't money. It was like we did the thing. We sold the painting. That's a successful artist. That's a pro artist selling paintings every week.
yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, yeah, we weren't making Porsche money, but
Did you ever figure out how many paintings you sold?
That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah.
Because it was up and down, and I was in and out, and there were some nights I would do 3 paintings, or I would work on stuff all week, and then so it's like that would be a difficult number to nail down. But I mean, just generously, let's say we hung out for like 5 years, 250 rumbles,
Mm-hmm.
I sold 604 rumbles without missing.
Yeah. And you were doing multiple pieces too, and
yeah. And then if I didn't make rent, I was pulling all-nighters to make more pieces in the evenings.
yeah.
So I think I might have sold. Probably shouldn't say on YouTube, but I think I sold around 2000.
Oh yeah.
2007.
Yeah. Yeah, that's unreal.
Yeah.
I made a painting for my friend. I wanted to give it to him, and he wanted me to buy. He wanted to sell it, buy it off me, and I wanted to give it to him. And I kept saying like, I'd rather just gift it to you. And then he wanted me to tell him how much it was worth, and I was like, oh, depends what you mean by that, because for 12 years I sold my work for quite a bit less than it was worth. But when you add it all up, like I think Darcy made around $5,000 over the years in total.
Nice. Yeah. Hell yeah.
We went to go find Darcy at the hospital, and we didn't find him, so I think he's out of the hospital.
Oh, that's good news.
Yeah, but he froze his hands.
But it's cold as fuck out. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
It's true.
What about Harold? Do you guys see Harold?
No, Harold lives in BC. He's closer to you than us, right?
Oh, yeah.
I could find out where in BC, because he'd probably love a visit from you.
Do you think he would remember me?
Yeah. He's
I
listening.
love that guy, man. Yeah, I bet.
I met Harold.
I bet his ears are ringing right now.
Probably.
Well, what if he's watching? 23,000
Hey!
23,000 people watched the broadcast last week.
Woo! Happy New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
That was a really fun episode. Or I had a good time anyway.
I met Harold probably the same year that Jesse was born. And I was walking down the street. No, you were probably 10 at the time. But I was walking down the street towards the roastery, on 4th Street. It eventually became like the Purple Perk. And Paul knew him through West Canadian Graphics because we'd opened up a small advertising agency. And Harold was our contact at West Canadian. But Harold was just a feral, wild man. He's minus 30 and he's walking down the street like Big Lebowski style in a bathrobe and dress shoes with no socks to go get a coffee at the roastery. And I will tell you, he left an impression on me.
Yeah.
This guy with no pants and dress shoes and a bathrobe.
Legendary.
Yeah.
That's epic. Did you collect any of his stuff?
Harold's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We collected
Yeah.
everybody's stuff, but we also mercilessly sold it as we went. So
Yeah, true.
Stuff,
everything I got my hands on ended up. So like somebody would come by, and a lot of times I think a lot of the stuff we bought didn't so much go for money as kindness, right? And it would almost like somebody maybe figured me out and just figured the angle and just kept playing me over and over again. But I remember I bought a painting. I loved it. The next day, this girl came in the gallery, and people would just wander in like at their lowest moment. They'd be just like, I was going to go kill myself. And then they open up their whole lives. And then they start talking about this one painting in the room that I just bought and don't really have room for at my house. And how, wow, that painting over there really speaks to like the problem I'm having right now. And so I often just gave it to them and didn't think about it twice. But then we were cleaning out the storage room the other day, and it's starting to get to be about a size that we can manage. Most of my favorite stuff is gone.
Makes it easy to clean up the rest of it.
Well, yeah, and the good stuff
Yeah.
we gave to people that could appreciate it
Yeah.
and needed it. We're getting to the point where we start throwing things out, but the good things we gave away.
Mhm.
So I was able to give a lot of beautiful stuff to other people. And that was what made the Rumble House nice for me, is even every week when we sold your work, somebody comes in, they see your work, they love it, they buy it, right? And then we give you half the money. And it's like, it feels good to give people money, and it feels even better when it's not your money, you know? Like, Rumble House was my 12 years as Robin Hood, you know?
Cool.
I got to give to the poor, but also it wasn't my money I was giving. So that was the best part. It was other people's money that I was giving away.
Pretty perfect moment.
What a wild time. Holy.
Yeah.
I can't even remember it, to tell you the truth. I see pictures of it and it's somebody else's life. And I'm just kind of discovering who I am. And also I've known Jess for 12 years, but we're just meeting each other for the first time. Like, oh, you're even nicer without the gallery. So it's funny because like, there's a lot of things that are just brand new and fresh. Like,
Pretty nice.
there's things that would stress me out in the year trying to get by with the gallery. And then I'd also be competing with trying to survive the school year. And then there's certain things in the school year that are way easier to deal with now because I'm not also running an art gallery.
Right.
I think the biggest challenge was the kinds of things that could go wrong, right? Like teaching is filled with confusions. And, you're saying 200 things every class to 30 different kids that are only just barely listening. And somebody hears something that sounds like something you didn't say, and
I don't ever ask for clarification.
well, and it's happened a few times when I've asked somebody to clarify and they're like, did you just say this? And I was like, no, I said this. And they're like, they understand that what I said made more sense, but they totally just heard something that I didn't say, right? And then so I'm like, you should have called me out if you thought I said that, but they didn't. And so you're sitting there, you don't know how many times in a day someone's like mishearing what you're saying and
because
going
everyone's going through their own stuff too. So
Right?
they're like, maybe like you said, only hearing one or two things or part of it, or
home.
going home and talking to their family about it. Maybe
Yeah. Right.
It's a good thing teenagers don't talk too much.
Yeah.
The elementary kids go home. And
there's the
talk
things
for
that you shouldn't say that you accidentally say, but then there's just a lot of stuff that is just in the same rhyming sequence as something that you would never say. Like I would never say that. Like, I can't believe you thought I said that and you still talk to me, And so those are the scariest things, because what I was most afraid of teaching was being publicly shamed. I didn't want to be the guy in the newspaper that was like, okay, I got a good example. And this one is on me. I did say this and it's my fault. I was always really infatuated with Cockney rhyming slang. And there was a phrase that I thought meant money, but it actually was a body part. So I used to say, come on now, show me your lolly. And I thought that meant show me your money. And it was a reference I picked up from a movie where I think lolly and money, either one of them could have been the proper interpretation of what the guy was saying. But lolly wasn't money. So I said it once to this British kid. And he's like, do you know what you just said? I'm like,
oh no.
It's so nice that he said something.
Or, you know what, Zach? There are many phrases in hip hop that you might assume are innocuous that aren't at all. And so you might be just referencing something from a Jay-Z song and then find out later that it didn't mean what you thought it meant. And there's no way to explain your way out of that because you're not Jay-Z.
No, I appreciate the example, but I'm quite studious with that. So I'm doing the calling out there.
Really?
Actually, no. I did have a pretty major moment with that.
Yeah.
I had to I hated this guy because something that he said.
Yeah.
And I was using these lyrics to defend my position, and then Buddy really broke it down, and then issues about the Gulf War were involved, and it was just like, oh, okay, I did misinterpret that, and then I've been healing from that since. Actually, I got to apologize to that guy face to face.
Yeah. Is it something you could text to me?
We could talk about it. It was Killer Mike, and I thought that he had a cop hating, a police hating lyric, even a violent opposition to the police. But then I saw him in a interview where he was crying about his long family heritage of all these first black police officer, Atlanta this, and police anti, and all this family of cops. And I'm like, what is this hypocrite doing? And then I'm like, everything this guy's ever produced now, how can I listen to this guy ever again?
Yeah.
And then Buddy broke it down for me, and I misread it. And Killer Mike's in the right. And my apologies.
I was using the affirmation for sure, my brother.
Yeah.
And the kids had taking a phrase that would be translated from for sure my brother, and as a group they were using it in a different context that I would have never anticipated. And to get called into the office by most square middle-aged principal and have him explain to me what the kids thought I said was like, oh my gosh, I thought I was saying for sure, but it wasn't. And it was also, I think they'd taken a phrase that probably neither they or I should have used because it's American and not Canadian.
Mm.
But they'd turned it into a different meaning, that they were using it as a verb. And I was like, I did not see that connection. So it was actually, to tell you the truth, because I was also listening. We were jokingly listening to Jay-Z the other day.
Yeah.
Like, can't not love Jay-Z, but I'm more like that guy in Office Space that rolls up the window and he's listening to. Like, I know,
Guilty pleasure.
but I also know how it looks on me. So we were looking for a bulb for my projector, and Jess is like, don't tell this story, but the camera company was called B&H, and we were coming up with different funny stories about what B&H might stand for. And I was trying to remember if Jay-Z had a nickname. One of his many nicknames was something that started with H, because that would explain, like, maybe it was Beyonce and Jay-Z's camera store.
But H.
Yeah, Hova, he calls himself.
Yeah.
And am I not correct about that?
Yes.
Yeah, young Hova.
I didn't know that.
So I was scanning through the because somewhere on my phone list I have the entirety of Jay-Z's collection, and I was looking for that song where he was referencing Hova.
Yeah.
See, I knew it, right?
Yeah. H to the Izzo.
Yeah.
B to the Izzy.
That's what I was trying to explain to Jess, but I didn't really understand it completely.
Hove's heartbreaking. That's a heartbreaking situation, being so close to Diddy. It's not doesn't get regularly played at my house anymore.
Right. I know.
I'm on to I've always like shied from such popularity as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also
of course he's good and deserves it, whatever, but I'm listening to the up and comers and the young guys and the underdogs and the.
Are you listening to anything Canadian and local?
Not so much local. How's my Canadian hip hop game?
Is it kind of
it comes and goes. There's definitely Canadians I love and will play forever.
Yeah. It's kind of I think sometimes like where you grew up might dictate how far you can go, right?
Yeah.
If you live in Calgary and you love skateboarding, you're never going to progress as well as somebody that lives in Santa Monica, right?
I'm on the drive home, and I'm listening to like the latest Clips release. So, a masterpiece, this album. But anyway, I'm bopping and I'm humming and I'm in between phone calls and I'm starting to rap to myself, and then I try to, like, there's like this song I was listening to was shouting out all these New York neighborhoods and they sound so cool, Staten Island, whatever, the Bronx, and then I was thinking about some neighborhoods in Vancouver, and I'm like, yeah, Mount Pleasant, Lynn Valley, these like nice, Hastings Sunrise, these aren't very like, if I'm gonna listen to like Vancouver hip hop, I don't know, these neighborhoods, you can't really, it's not really shout out material, I don't know.
I would say I tried to write, you're supposed to write about what you know.
Yeah.
And I would often try and set a novel in Calgary because I know it.
Yeah.
But, virtually impossible to write something sounding about Calgary. It's such an ugly name. Like honestly, Calgary might be one of the ugliest names for a city.
Yeah.
It's not romantic at all.
Did you hear about how it got named Calgary?
How?
I guess so. It was. I think they were here. I think they were calling the river Calgary,
Mm-hmm.
and then the river does like an elbow shape.
Yeah.
Or wait, so it was a miscommunication about this, about like the river's shaped like an elbow, so colonizers rock up and they're like, "What is this place?" And they're like, "Oh, that's the elbow."
The Calgary part came from like one of the Mounties who was Scottish.
Oh, okay. I got a different story.
No, you're 100% right about the river. One of those, like, they weren't really listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're 100% right about that. But I think the Calgary was the name of a Scottish town for one of the like police chiefs that helped settle the Fort Calgary.
Oh, okay.
I'm a little like frustrated with the way they try and romanticize and rewrite the story of Fort Calgary. I think you need to take ownership of the damage you've created. And it was an outpost that was here, not for the comfort of the people that lived here. And I think they often try and rewrite that narrative. And so I actually can't stand Fort Calgary. And
like, oh, what would they have done without the telephone? Oh, we brought them the automobile.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
There was a lady that came to speak when I was getting my teaching, it was like a TED Talk experience at my IB. It was a TED speaker that came to speak to us. And she had gone to Africa and met this lady. And the lady had part of a house. The house was like a wall. And there's a little tiny piece of the wall that would shelter them from the rain. So when it was raining, they had to crawl into the corner of the wall and get shelter from the rain in that. But the rest of the year, she basically just picked local foods. And unless it was raining, she was comfortable about 90% of her day. And she had to do about 10% of work to try and, sort of just pull fruit down from the trees. Mm-hmm. And then this lady the lady talking to us was on a mission. And so the mission saw this broken house and brought in a bunch of facilities and built the rest of her house. But when they built the rest of her house, it now had a roof. And so there was no light in her house. So in the dark, you had to build into the house the infrastructure to put electricity into the house. Mm-hmm. But when she had the electricity for the house, she needed to have a job, mm-hmm. which meant she left her kids unsupervised to be in the house that had a roof and no light, so she could go into town and work these hours to pay for the electricity for the roof of the house that used to be the sky.
Used to be fine.
And the whole point of the lecture was, you think you're helping people. And she took us through it completely without any warning. She's like, and then we built her a roof. And it was only in the last few lines that she released the information that we'd ruined this lady's life. Oh. Building her the rest of the house, is that she had to leave her family and get a job to pay for the electricity. And that's just the way we do things. We think we know the best and go around sticking our faces in everybody's business and ruin everybody's lives.
There's a similar fable about a fisherman. Maybe it was like an old Spanish story.
Yeah.
And this fisherman is on the dock, and then this businessman comes and says, he's on vacation. He goes, "Oh, hey, nice haul, fisherman,
Yeah.
Oh, what if you got some buddies together? And what if you got a bigger boat? And what if you got He goes, oh. And then, moral of the story is the businessman was like trying to sell the lifestyle the fisherman already had to the guy with like all this extra work.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm actually just going to do that without being this corporate giant you want me to be.
That takes me back to, you don't need a Porsche.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Ferrari.
What is the Porsche? I want to be a guy that deserves a Porsche.
What are you driving right now?
I'm driving like a really modest domestic. I'm driving this like 4-wheel drive Ford that has really reliable, small, eco-friendly engine. You know, it's like all really. I'm driving the right car.
Driving.
You know, I absolutely no.
Did you get out to the mountains in it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no. It's like that's what it's for. It's perfect. Roof racks. I got rubber. Everything. Yeah, it's
I've
nice.
got a Volkswagen Beetle and I love it to death.
Right? Boom. I partied with some lawyers last week, and I was, you know, what do you do? What do you do? I said art. You know, that's first, and then they get excited. Oh, do you, you know, does that pay you? And then you go, oh no, I do drywall.
That's not a compliment, by the way. When they go, "Oh, does that pay you?" They're like,
Yeah, no, it's sizing you up, right? Yeah, and I felt like I told them I do drywall, so now I'm like blue collar at this like white collar party.
Yeah.
It was fun. I had a blast. Everyone was really lovely, and that's not, you know, I had a really great time. It was super fun. Everyone's really friendly, and there are artists amongst me. It wasn't like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like
I remember going out with my sister and her friends were all lawyers. I probably tell this story every week. And they were all at the Unicorn. And so I just went down. I can't remember. Sometimes my sister needed to walk home, so she just called me to come meet her at the bar, and I live downtown. They were at the Unicorn, and I was sitting down having a beer. And they were discussing who was going to get the hockey tickets that night because their office had a ongoing every week. Somebody from the office would take the the office had
A box.
yeah, and this is the thing everybody knows, yeah, but take turns who was going to get it, and there wasn't any structure set up. It was just kind of like who gets it this week. And so
who's busy, who has guests, who could take it, who's a client. Yeah.
They were sitting there discussing who was going to get the hockey tickets. And one of the guys looks at me and goes, "Oh, what does a teacher do if he wants to go to a hockey game?"
Wow.
And I was like, you were revealing so much of what you actually know by asking that question that I'm not going to pretend it's okay for you to ask that question, right? Like everything you want to hear is not going to come out of my mouth, even though we both know it's true. And I just looked at him like, you know, I like sometimes I'll just flip the subject and like, you're gross, and then stop talking to him. Like, I think I might have told him he was gross. I think that might be one of my natural gifts is that I'll hear myself say to somebody, "You're gross," and then I'll be proud of myself for saying it. Like I wouldn't have said something so bold, but it just came out of my mouth, and so that was like one of those moments. I'm looking back and I'm kind of really enjoying the expression on his face when I told him he was gross. I didn't even say that's gross. I said you're gross. And that kind of blatant honesty can really
affect someone.
Well, and also like open up possibilities because after I told him he was gross, everybody became way cooler.
I genuinely had a good time. I didn't have to tell anyone they were gross. It was just
You're just saying that so they keep buying your paintings. I know what
yeah. Keep inviting me to the parties. That was fun.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
They're good people. I would say we kind of calculated yesterday, and I forget the number, but in a moment of clarity, I realized how many people I met through Gorilla House and Rumble House. And I would suspect we met 20,000 people a year working at the gallery. Now, I don't know how many people a year you'd meet working in a shoe store, right? Like you work a shift, you might meet 100 people in a day.
Mm-hmm.
You do that 200 days a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that 20,000 people? I think we met 20,000 people a year in pretty favorable conditions for 12 years straight. And I would say I liked 99.7% of those people. There was a few people I didn't like and didn't want to know and had to be polite to because of what we were doing.
Mm.
Practice too.
Yeah, but I also like look back and we were at a party over Christmas and this kind of older guy was telling me a story that I couldn't appreciate, but he was telling it with such enthusiasm that I didn't want to humiliate him. So I kind of nodded and acknowledged that he was telling a story. At the end of the story, I kind of deeply regretted not speaking up and saying, "You're kind of a pig."
Oh.
I also have this condition where up until very recently, people would go, "Oh, and you know what I mean? Oh, ha, ha." And I'd go, yeah, of course I know what you mean. And then it's only in the last like year or two I realized I do that, like even at school, I do that probably 3 or 4 times a day. I would tell people I knew what they meant when I had no idea what they meant. And then one day, about maybe 6 months to a year ago, somebody said, "Oh yeah, you know what I mean? Oh ho ho," and I was like, "Yeah, oh ho ho," and I was like, "I actually don't know what you mean." And then I wondered how many things that I wouldn't agree to I had agreed to because I didn't. Right, like that guy thinks you should club baby seals because I told him, we club baby seals, and he's like, "Oh ho ho," and then he went, "Oh ho ho," and even the phrase or the sound "oh ho ho," I only just recently learned. I thought it was something Jesse made up to be descriptive, but it was
to be descriptive.
It was from a movie. It's like Beauty and the Beast or something. Did you tell me that?
Yeah. Oh, you burped me before, and then it was the candelabra. Oh.
Okay. And then one time I was trying to descriptively explain my experience when I forget to look at you and I turn around and you're standing there. And Sky said, "Oh, you mean aruga?" And I was like, "That's the perfect noise." But I wonder if that had a reference too, aruga.
That's like the dog that had the tongue rolls out. And
right.
What's his name? It's
right.
all cartoons. Yeah.
Right. I'm going to make a sound and you tell me if it identifies a body part. Ready? Mm-hmm. Boingy, 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 boingy.
Totally does.
Now, why would boingy be universally understood as a particular body part?
Cartoons?
Kelly's laughing. Okay, we're all going to write down what body part we think it is and see if it matches up. Boingy, boingy, boingy. Those are things I didn't really know. But I might have made the boingy noise at school because I wouldn't have known it was specific to a body part.
Like when you watch Looney Tunes way too much.
100%.
Did Looney Tunes have a reference to boingy, boingy, boingy?
Well,
No.
they say it in some of the cartoons, but I was like, oh, okay.
It's the training is from Looney Tunes though, with all of
right.
the sound effects. Yeah.
When I say dork,
mm-hmm.
What do you think dork means?
Oh, isn't this is out there, isn't it?
I always thought dork meant like not cool. Like don't be a dork.
Like a nerd, yeah.
Doesn't it have to do with marine biology?
Douchebag.
Oh yeah. Is it a whales?
I guess like I used to always say like and I've been teaching for 20 years. I think for the first 15 years, I hadn't found pants that I felt comfortable in. I like jeans, and my teaching pants I would call my dork pants. And like every now and then I'd say dork pants, and kids would look at me really funny. I'm like, they don't know the word dork? Like, is that? And then one day, this is probably 10 years ago, so it was maybe closer to 10 years before I realized that people were using the word dork as something else. A kid came into class and he's playing soccer, and he said he got kicked in the dork. I'm like, what's a dork? Like, how do you get kicked in a dork? Like, you are a dork, but how do you get kicked in a dork? And
Hilarity ensued.
and then it started to download. Like, oh, I say this all the time. Like, man, you think I wear dork pants to work because I think I'm cool? Like, and they're like, did you just say dork pants? I'm like, yeah, dork pants. I hate my dork pants. And they're like, looking at me. I'm like, it's like,
I used to always say dingus for dork, and dingus was something my friends and I always
dingus
used.
definitely does not mean dork.
Okay.
Dinkus could, but dinkus could also mean just don't be like a
Don't be a dingus.
don't be a dork.
Yeah.
Really, any word can be
Could be,
confused
yeah.
with a whale's penis, if that's what you're getting at.
Or
Like,
any kind of penis.
I kicked him in the telephone receiver, if you know what I mean. Oh. I just fit 5 into one.
I know, that
sentence
was
here.
really good. Yeah.
Like someone actually told me when they were younger, they said, "Oh, I got my little alien caught in my zipper."
Little alien.
That one was so funny.
They thought by bragging about how economically sized it was. Jess is like, don't.
I just
don't.
thought it was funny when you call it my little alien.
That's really funny.
I always thought that about peacocks. Not peacock, meloncock.
We're descending.
I am so glad my students don't watch this early. And if they were, they would
You never
be
know, they might be watching.
for 2
Secretly.
hours, Kelly. Do you know what they can do for 2 hours? Nothing. They can sleep for 2 hours. 2 hours
Oh,
is
you
like
never know though.
a third of their lives.
I would be impressed by the
Or they'll look back at when they graduate, they go, "Oh, Mr. Theroux is in this. Oh, you watched it. It's from the past."
Nope. Guaranteed. My kids don't watch this broadcast. How are my students going to watch it? Or are you watching, Robin? No, I don't think you are. However, 2,300 people
Mhm.
watched last week. They must have been really kind of. I think it's because it was on a New Year's, and we were just the right time to kill time for. I'm not complaining.
I told my mom's caregiver about the show, but she's either working or sometimes she'll look in. She'll go, "Oh, that's nice."
I don't promote the show anymore. I used to have to promote the gallery. I never promote the show. I could care less if
I
people.
occasionally will promote, like I'll share the link occasionally to a couple groups.
It's just nice.
Doesn't
now
matter
to-
anymore.
to do it. It's
Yeah.
just nice to.
Oh, what a relief that it's not like, please like and share. My everything depends on you.
Yeah.
You know? Oh God. Oh God.
Such a nice relief.
It's true.
Even if it's like really nice content, really important, and maybe they do need some help, it's still just like this
And
weird, desperate.
they say that, but they don't know that there's no payoff, right? Like you could have a
Yeah.
million subscribers and you get a nickel. But
Yeah.
that fits into so many things that I also early social media, everybody that started doing some kind of video podcast would start out with, "Hey guys," and it's like
Yeah.
I was like, why do I feel like that person's talking to a piece of plastic in their hand and they're calling the plastic guys to imply there's a lot more people? I'm like, how do they know people are watching? Like, do they know I'm watching? They don't know I'm watching. This is pre-recorded. Like, who are they talking to? And I'm so dumb that I didn't realize they just said, "Hey guys," to a plastic box, knowing that we were going to see it until later. Like,
Well, that's weird. That like premeditation. That's like if like what they did was a crime, like then that's like the first degree version. Like that.
yeah. And if you compare that to art making, there's no bigger crime than being inauthentic.
Right.
I was gonna show the show to so there's a person that went to the Under 100 and bought a lot of paintings.
Yeah.
Bought one of the paintings from my friend, but I wanted to show Zach's art and your art, Rich, because he collects paintings and
I'm not even selling my paintings anymore, Kelly.
Give him my
Yeah, but
number.
what if he wants you to paint for him?
You have to be my friend, and I have to want to give you a painting. I don't even sell them anymore.
Oh, that's
Zach
wicked.
paintings, right? Like I'd like to introduce him to Zach as well.
I get to decide who gets to have my paintings, not sit around hoping somebody buys it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, stand on one leg, one hand on your head.
Because Zach's art is cool as well. I like it.
Yeah.
I just don't have any of his art.
Whose?
Zach.
That was another thing. I was going to send you a picture. It was during Rumble House. I
Yeah.
bought a picture from, it was on auction. I have it. It's on the wall. I don't know who the artist is, even though it's signed.
Are you showing it to us right now?
I'll
No.
show it to you. Just like I'll change cameras.
Yeah,
Zach
change
showing
cameras.
Zach is showing his studio.
I'm just doing a little studio tour. Yeah. I can do another lap if you like. Yeah.
Did you
Classic mounds, classic clowns.
given any thought to embracing those dark lines you like?
Yeah. I'm still. I'm addicted to them.
Yeah, good.
This one.
This guy doesn't have any yet. Oh, the fox. That looks nice.
It's really nice. And I don't know who did it.
Oh, wow.
Can you put it closer?
It's like
I gotta step over some stuff.
Volps? What? Volps?
Vulpus. That's the genome. The Zen.
Oh,
Is it the girl? Oh,
It says Volps. And then it says 24 on the other side.
but
Yeah,
Volps is a fox. Is that what that is?
I think.
Yeah, it's a fox. And it's all
And
drawn.
then- And then so that's their stamp there. That like
I wonder.
Yeah,
character.
Volps or something. And then 24, and it's just
Could
really
you get us
good.
closer?
And
Could you get us closer to that scribble on the left?
Yeah, Vulpus is a red fox. It's the scientific genome.
So 20. Oh, that looks cool. Oh, that's nice.
Alex was the one gentleman, and his girlfriend always came, and she did really nice, like animals and different things. So I wonder if it was her
yeah, because I really like it.
brain.
Like-
It was really nice, Kelly.
There's another guy who he actually did the Captain Canuck. He's an illustrator. He did this. He did the little bear for me.
Oh, very nice.
And then he did the other thing behind there. It's a bunch of owls. I can't really get close to it.
Very cool.
His own creation. But I like the teddy bear with the little ickies coming out.
I like that Rumble House one.
Which
Zach?
one?
No, Zach.
Oh, the barracks. Yeah, the barracks is all right.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think I painted that on one of was it Isle of Roux yet? I think it was still Rumble online.
Really? From a photo?
Yeah. Did I cheat? Did I trace it?
It looks
I'm a
like you got it on
cheater.
the street. That's what I would say. I would say it looks like you painted it from outside.
I mean, I almost could have done it from memory. We
Yeah.
played out front of that building a lot.
Yeah.
I got a projector to try the tracing thing.
Yeah.
To see if I
Yeah,
can
do it.
enhance
Oh, it's
some of
so
the-
good.
I want to enhance some of the abstract art that I have.
Nice. The Isle of Roux.
Look at these circles. I'm doing the damn thing with these circles. I'm into it.
I like circles.
Oh
I
my
mean-
god, I bet.
Or is it actually, it looks like, what is it? I've seen that pattern before.
Yeah. Oh, that's a pillowcase. The secret's out.
I've seen it before.
Love
That's
that.
nice though.
They had it in the dollar store.
But then I glued it to some
Just
OSB.
put it on
I rescued this piece of construction material.
That's awesome.
Was it round
Yeah,
when you cut
circles
it?
are fine.
Yeah, I made it. Me and a buddy made them round. So I got this one. I got this sexy one here,
We have when we got
and then I got this. Then I got the Buddha.
when we got the enlarger for photography.
Yeah.
It just happened to fit perfectly in our bathroom on the sink. It's like just barely on the cusp of falling into the sink, which would be really bad for the projector, the enlarger, sorry. And I just had one painting that I'd been thinking about throwing out for weeks, and it was like the exact right size for the sink surface. The only thing I had to do was cut out a small little divot so that it would fit around the faucet, which kind of cuts in on the surface area that the enlarger is trying to fit on. But it's like Jess and I have been so incredibly lucky with the things we've built that I'll build like 5 benches, and it'll look like there might be room for 5 of the benches up against the wall, and there'll be room for 5 benches and 1 inch. You know, like everything just fits to the inch. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
I didn't throw out was exactly the right size to sit in the bathtub, over top of the bucket I use to heat the water so that I can do my photos. Have you ever tried developing film?
No. Short answer, no.
I have.
In
Nice.
school?
I did in high school.
Yeah.
Nice.
They didn't let me into the photo lab when I was in high school because I was a
'Cause
troublemaker.
you're impulsive.
Yeah. And then
We did it at Wycombe Bennett. We're taking pictures with the really old cameras.
Nice.
yeah. Who was your teacher there?
was fun.
Art teacher.
I can't remember. That was like 15, 20 years ago.
Can you picture the art teacher if you can't remember the name?
I can't remember the name. It was a course I took.
If you can't
Oh,
remember,
it was,
if you can't remember the
No.
name, can you remember whether it was a male or a female?
it was a female
Okay. Do you want to know why I'm asking?
because it might have been one of your teachers.
No, it wasn't my teacher. I had some friends that were upgrading at Viscount Bennett, and I was picking them up from class, and they had almost all the credits they needed, but the 2 friends of mine were in an art class to finish off credits at Viscount Bennett. And I met this cool old cat who actually, I don't have a memory of him. I only remember like almost like an imagined version of him. But he struck me as just like Johnny Fever from WKRP. And he was this really cool, chill art teacher at Viscount Bennett that everybody liked. And he spent his time just like painting and working with the kids. And his whole thing was just not wrecking anybody and giving them space to do their thing. And there was a good thing about him and a bad thing about him, because I was finishing art school. I think my girlfriend was in class. Her friend was like that sensitive ponytail guy that always wanted to make me feel bad. And I went to go pick the 2 of them up in this art class. And my first thought was, it was the first time I ever thought about becoming an art teacher. Maybe 15 years before I actually became an art teacher, I thought about becoming an art teacher. And there was two moments in that exchange that really struck me. One, against my better judgment, the girl I was dating asked me if I would make her a painting for her art class because she was about to graduate. Like, Viscount Bennett was the school you went to upgrade if you didn't finish high school. And the only thing she needed to finish high school was to finish her art class. She was good at art, but she just needed 1 extra self-portrait. And so I drew her self-portrait. Now, in fairness, I didn't want it to look like 3rd-year art school. I wanted it to look like a high school student. But after she turned in her piece, her sensitive ponytail friend took great pleasure in saying, after she handed it in and got graded for it, she said, "Well, what grade level do you think this is?" Because I was in my 3rd year of art school or my 2nd year of art school, and the teacher had said maybe like grade 8. And I love it. Yeah. And then so that kind of
Zach,
hurt.
you gotta,
But at the same time, I remember deciding I wanted to be like that teacher and just teach like a chill course at a what do you call those schools where you're upgrading? Like
Zach, you need to put some paintings on the ceiling.
Yeah, I'm running out of walls. Yeah, totally.
That's why I was suggesting put some on the ceiling if you can. You should be able to mount them to the ceiling somehow.
It
You
is
got
just a
lots
drywall
of
ceiling. It's hung. I'm gonna just mural my ceiling. I think that's a great idea.
are you renting, my friend?
Yeah, but I don't care.
Listen,
They have to reno the place. They got to reno the place when I'm out of here anyway. So,
but the ceiling you probably don't want to mess with. Carpets are easy to replace. That popcorn ceilings, I wouldn't mess with it if I were you.
I am a gifted. I'm a gifted drywall finisher. So,
Oh, are you popcorn ceilings?
I delete them. I delete them every day.
Yeah.
And then I come home and I live in a cave. Ah!
You're the wrong guy giving you advice. I take it all back.
Well, if I did mural it, I mean, I would be committing myself to like what would be like, over $1,000 worth of work.
Do you have certain tasks like that you like the least?
What in the process of finishing drywall, or what's in what context? It's all work is work now. I'm not afraid of much.
Say I'm pretty comfortable with a lot of stuff. I do not love dealing with ceilings.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Any long term amount of it
as a house painter. And no task did I find unbearable other than I hated doing ceilings. I hated anything to do with ceilings. I just couldn't stand it.
Kink in the neck, pain in the neck.
Nah, it was like getting dripped on.
Oh yeah.
It was the uppy back down that I didn't like, So I decided I'm totally fine with, but the uppy back down I did not like at all.
Uppy back down. Straight up.
Yeah, did not like
So
it.
Zach, is your goal to kind of save money and then get your own house?
Yeah, I think that's closer. That's closer than I need it to be. Yeah, closer than the Porsche. Yeah.
Your own house it would be cool if you painted the outside a mural.
If I just muraled my house, I don't know. I don't know if my partner would be into it.
She would.
Well,
She's very
nice, like a scenery, like a garden on the front of the house.
Kelly, do you have a mural on your house?
We're not allowed to. We're in a condo.
Oh.
But my mom's house, I did paint on the wall.
Yeah.
In the basement, there is a painting on the actual wall.
I painted a mural.
I did when I was 15. So it's on the drywall.
I painted a mural in Shauna's house, and then when I moved out, she decided to hire somebody to paint it for it when she decided to sell the house. And I said, why don't you just leave the mural up and maybe the new owner will want to keep it? And then she said, nah, like people don't want stuff like that. And I said, but like, just imagine anybody looking at the house is going to think they're getting a discount because it's got this bizarre, whatever price you have, they're going to assume that you've taken some money off because of the weird mural on the wall. And then on the off chance they like it, you might even sell the house. She's like, no, I'm just gonna get rid of it. And she wasn't too bothered about it the first 3 times she painted over it, but because Zach, you might know this, because there was some Sharpie marker in the mural.
Ooh, yeah.
Kept burning through, and she hired a guy, and I think he painted it like 6 times to get rid of the Sharpie marker. Now, I did feel bad that she hired somebody to paint that wall so many times, but I also felt like maybe you should have just sold it with a mural.
Yeah, I wish I discovered that Sharpie was so brutal kind of late in the game. I was kind of abusing Sharpie and then found out how acidic it is and how like not good for archival work it is. And,
When did you
and
figure it out?
I don't know. So addicted to Sharpie. I have a Sharpie tattoo. Like I've so Sharpied in.
Let me see your Sharpie tattoo.
It's so cheese. I don't even know. Now I'm cringing. Oh no. If that tour of my studio wasn't bad enough.
No, I love it. How old were you when you got that?
I did like I was working at a skate shop. I did it on my lunch break.
Yes.
It was crazy. I was young, maybe 23. I drew it myself. I like drew it that afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. And my buddy criticized me. He says, "Oh, dude, that's awful. It looks like you just drew that." I'm like, in 2 minutes, you know, he's like, I was like, yeah, I did. That's what I did.
Oh, actually, it was how long ago? 7, 18, 19, 20, 21,
Um, that's hilarious.
20,
So I never.
21 years ago, I did the exact same thing. I drew something morning of my birthday in ACAD, and then I walked down to Kensington at lunch, and I got it tattooed, and then I went back to class after.
Yes. Yes.
21 days ago. I mean, years ago.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool. I was close with that tattoo shop, and shout out Human Canvas, Brandy Lee.
Oh yeah.
Go see Brandy Lee for anything tattoo.
Sadly, I only have one tattoo. But it's in a bad. You only can see when I have shorts on
There you
because
go.
it's too high up.
Is it fairly new, your tattoo?
So I got it in 2008 after I had a blood clot in my leg and almost died.
Oh.
Oh, survival.
Whoa.
So it signifies life.
Life. That's beautiful.
It's a werewolf biting the Japanese symbol for life.
Nice.
Cool.
It's black and white, and then the eye is white.
Very cool.
It was my first tattoo, and I fell asleep when they were doing it.
That's awesome.
So I kind of want another one when I hit 60. That's in 4 years from now.
That's exciting.
What are you
On
gonna
the
get?
other leg, which would be love, and it'll have the wolf biting the love symbol.
Kelly, what did your mom say about your tattoo?
She just looked at me. My husband said it was disgusting, but then he learned to live with it.
Oh.
My mom didn't say too much about it. She didn't really see it that often. She'd say, "What's that? It's a mark on your leg." "Yeah, it's a tattoo." "Oh, is it permanent?" "Yes, it is."
Yeah. I was
So
a
cute.
little
Oh, I thought it
overwhelmed
was
when I
funny.
saw Jessie's magpie tattoo. I wasn't expecting her magpie because it really is this one here.
But it's a nice tattoo, the magpie. I like it.
I like it too.
I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm just like
Maybe it was
It's
more
beautiful,
bold.
big
I was
time beautiful,
super shocked by it because it was
like
so
Jessie.
striking. But I will tell you, I went for dinner with Zach. I think the morning after he tattooed his what do you call it around your collarbone?
What in here?
Yeah. What do you call that tattoo?
Oh, a mistake.
That's what you said the day you got it. I don't know. I was really surprised because we were at we were on Robson Street having dinner because Jess and I had flown out for
Right.
we flew out for a book signing.
Right.
Contacted you and my cousin, and we went out for dinner with you.
Yeah.
And I remember Jess was ordering my food because I'm deaf in my right ear and I don't know how to order off a menu. And
Yeah.
was it Carly? Was that?
Yeah.
Carly
Yeah. It would have been. Yeah.
judging Jessica for picking my food, but I just needed help. That was the day that you woke up with this tattoo and you were mortified. And I was like so confused about like, how do you, I understand getting wild and waking up in the morning like I got a cast, like, you know, you broke your foot and there's a series of events that have to happen.
Funny how it happens. Danny Brown, shout out Danny Brown.
Because you were pretty traumatized to wake up, and you were the one explaining to us how much you hated this tattoo. But what was like mind-boggling to me is if you didn't want it, how did you end up sitting still long enough for the tattoo to land on your chest? Like, maybe now I'm wondering, would it be?
It's like a lot. It's like a loss.
How did you accidentally get that tattoo that you were regretted the next morning, or were you playing up the fact that you didn't really want it?
No. It was certainly a mistake. But we had been, we'd been under the influence for a number of days, and we had been doing a lot of traveling. We went to the island from here, so we were.
You passed out.
We were
woke up with that tattoo.
No, we were doing murals on a tattoo shop, so everyone was getting ink.
Were you
and like
with Zach, or what happened?
Kind of. The guy who gave it to me, we called Bully J. So this guy might have bullied me into it, but
nobody taught you how to say no. You were like, no, this is my body. Don't. No.
Well, that's also it. Is I'm a yes man. I'm into it. Yeah, hell yeah, let's do it. What do you want to do? Oh, well, I've been writing this obnoxious phrase on my books for a couple days. Let's put that in ink on my chest forever.
But when you saw it and you thought, I don't like this, why didn't you say like, hey, don't do that anymore?
Oh God, I don't know. I'm kind of a believer in the process. Maybe he was gonna maybe it didn't look so hot in the sketch, but like maybe he could make it happen.
He'll turn this around.
Yeah, maybe it just needs a little.
You were my wife than me.
Oh,
she does that too, but
I don't think I'd be able to say anything if something.
Now I noticed it's ingrained in me and it's ingrained in Felix, and I don't mean it was a taught thing. It's just wired into us. We got in the elevator. Felix was like 5. We weren't going for a bike ride. It wasn't on our minds. We got in the elevator, and this dad and his son got in the elevator. The son was younger than Felix. He had a bicycle. And Felix's lips were moving, but he wasn't saying anything. And he was repeating something over and over again. And it took every ounce of courage for him to keep his mouth silent, even though he couldn't stop his lips from speaking. Going down to the basement, the door opened. The dad and the son got off the elevator, and as the door closed, he couldn't stop himself. He blurts out, "He should be wearing a helmet." And but I just know that like Felix couldn't be tattooed by somebody that he didn't want a tattoo from, because it just comes out of his mouth. Stop, right? And then in my case, I would hear stories about like people in Hollywood getting mistreated and young hockey players being taken advantage by their coaches, but it just seems so foreign to me that you wouldn't just start kicking and screaming to stop. And like, if somebody puts like ketchup on my burger, I'm doing backflips and screaming like a banshee, and just eat the burger. And the fact that you would have a tattoo you didn't want is just like, I can't wrap my head around that.
Yeah. This be a lesson to all the young viewers.
And then
when the party is fun,
your judgment,
but it's not forever. It's not fun forever, all right?
Your judgment being impaired by foreign substances. I think I've consumed enough of different things to stop my body from working. When your heart's too drunk to beat. No,
it wasn't even that. No, I'm like I was in it. We tattoo studio, murals, graffiti, narcotics. We were like, it was fun. It was fine.
Like if somebody said, let's split your tongue in half, you'd be like, let's see how that goes. And you'd get like one of those funky two stereo
split tongue.
Was there no limit to what could have taken the gate? You must have watched that show, Jackass.
Yeah.
And got like, why is this even a TV show? This is my Saturday morning.
I think the guy was like this dude, Bully J. This guy.
Was he so charismatic that he could have anything he wanted?
He was awful, man. This guy was not a good dude.
Were you afraid for your life?
Should I shout him out? Should I dox this guy? This guy's a bad dude. Was I afraid for my life? No.
Like
No.
Tattoo I didn't want if I was 13 hanging out with my 16-year-old cousin, but that was because like
It's different
he's
because you
bigger
wanna,
than me,
and
he
you
made-
want to show
yeah.
off to bigger kids or
Yeah,
Think
that
about
might have been it. You know. Yeah.
hanging out with Nelson Mandela, and he said, "Let's go get tattoos." It wouldn't matter
you're like, okay,
what he
Nelson,
wanted, you know.
Yeah.
we can do that.
Or like Jess and I were talking about David Bowie one time and how David Bowie had some like gender fluid, and like I'm straight, but David Bowie, yeah, right, like
Yeah.
just do what he wants.
Yeah.
It's like
It's David Bowie.
David Bowie.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Yeah. No bender needed. We're Bowie. Bowie.
Yeah, he is the narcotics.
I'm not saying
The
I
Bo-
did, but I wouldn't say no. You know, like it's David Bowie. You want me to wash your shoes? I'll wash your shoes. You might walk your dog around the block, that little funny poodle? I'd love to.
Aww.
You think I should shave stripes into my hair? Sure, no problem. It grows back.
What about a chest tattoo?
Oh, if David Bowie.
No, like Zach, we're different that way, and it's not. No, but it's not like as open as you are. I'm that closed, right? Like there's something in me that if somebody said sit down, I would have to stand on the desk.
Right.
I can't explain.
Oh, no one told me to do it.
No, but what I'm saying is there was something in me as a kid that when I felt like I was getting external pressure, it didn't matter what it was, I had to push against it. So my early days of sobriety, there's a few years where I was like obstinately sober. And actually I was obstinately sober for about half of art school. I did it to irritate people because as soon as people started bugging me, like I think I was in grade 9 and somebody was trying to get me to get high with them. And it was because they were trying to pressure me into it. I probably would have been the first kid to go, let's try some mind-altering drugs. But because they were trying to push it on me, I remember not only did I say no, this is a specific story my students used to make fun of me. I said no, I went home, and I remember pulling open the fridge and having my first glass of skim milk. Like thinking, I'm not doing your drugs, and I'm having skim milk instead of like 2%.
Whole milk.
Yeah.
I'm the same way as you, Rich.
What?
I'm the same way as you. They pressured me as well, and I said no.
But like belligerently.
No, I'm gonna drink a V8.
Yeah, I'm gonna have carrot juice.
Yeah.
No, they would say, "We need to try this," and I'm like,
One
no.
time I remember I drove my friends out to the airport, and we went into the airport, and I think the waitress we had was used to having some level of power of persuasion. And I was a young man, and the only reason I didn't want to drink was because I was driving, and I was kind of new at driving. And I was at the airport. My friend was moving. We're dropping him off at the airplane, and the waitress asked me first, like, "Can I get you a drink?" I was like, "No, I'm okay." And she's like, "You don't want a drink?" And I'm like, "No, I think I'm okay." And then immediately I was like, "Did I need to say no twice?" Like,
Yeah.
And then so my friend sitting next to me goes, "I'll have a drink." And then she goes, "Are you sure you don't want a drink?" I'm like, "No, I already said no twice." And then my other friend says, "Come to think of it, I'll have a drink." And she looks back at me. She's like, "Are you going to have a drink?" I was like, "Now I've said 3 times." And then my third friend, they're all leaving, goes, "Oh, please get me a drink." And then she looked at me and she said, "Aren't you going to give in to peer pressure?" And I was like, "These guys aren't my peers."
Ooh, nice.
It just came out of my mouth. And then I looked at them and
They're like, ouch.
I'm like, really, you're not.
Wow, that's so good. That's so good.
That's how I said goodbye to them. It was like, it wasn't meant to be mean. It wasn't a burn. It was like, how dare you?
These guys are my
Chumps to me. This is my ego 100%. But I saw them like 20 years later, and each one of them, like 20 years later, I ran into all three of them, and each one of them was like, yeah, I'm not your peer. And I was like, oh, you held a grudge. I'm sorry. But
sorry, not
Funny. That's a great line. What? That's like.
it wasn't like none of my great lines are
It's great
intentional.
because it's not intentional. It's like
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, that was
my
good.
lack of like I think it's my lack of malice coupled with
It's
like,
earnest, yeah.
Yeah, I think people think I'm funnier than I am, but I'm just built like a robot. I set the table on fire. Apparently, the funniest
2
thing I
weeks
ever
ago?
said. What did I say that you thought was so funny?
You're like, it is so much worse than you think. He said it so nonchalant,
Well,
like
the table was on.
That's so good.
so much worse
I was
than you
trying to
think.
pat the fire out. It was sparklers. Were you here for the sparklers?
It was 2 weeks. No, I think it was 3 weeks ago.
It was our 50th episode. We had 50 sparklers. Like one little speck got on the table and I patted it out. And then there was like a piece of the sparkler that didn't fire up. So I lit it again. And now pieces were fought, but the manganese, it doesn't go out, right? So now our table surface for the broadcast is stained forever. But the reason I was saying it's so much worse than you think is I was watching the table melt, but it also wouldn't go out. And I thought this is going to go up any second. I was just trying to buffer the fact, like when it burns, I want you to know that I knew it was going to burn. I'm not like I wasn't so stupid as to be surprised by it.
That's too funny.
And then again, this is like the guy. Did I say this on the broadcast or did I say it before the broadcast? My friend at work teases me because for like 20 years, I was always shocked that everybody thought Napoleon Dynamite was so funny. And I didn't think it was funny. So I wondered if maybe I was smarter than everybody else. Like maybe I'm a little too highbrow for Napoleon Dynamite. And I was, he brought it up. He's talking about Napoleon Dynamite. It's like goes around the table. Oh, that was so funny. The other guy goes, oh, that was so funny. And finally I broke and I'm like, I didn't think Napoleon Dynamite was funny at all. It was like 2 hours and nothing happened. And then there's this long pause and Kevin goes, do you ever think you might be Napoleon Dynamite? And I was like, oh, that landed a bit close to home. And then today, my hands were kind of full and I have to change classrooms. And I often like trying to carry too many things at once or stuffing my snack in my mouth because I
don't have the hands.
I need to eat it, but I'm not enjoying it. I'm just trying to get it in my stomach so my stomach doesn't hurt. But I realized with about 10 seconds to the bell, I had time to fit my celery sticks in my pockets. And it wasn't so much that I was trying to be Napoleon Dynamite is I caught myself looking over my shoulder to make sure that Kevin didn't catch me putting celery sticks in my pocket. I mean, it wasn't tater tots, but paint lid.
These guys these aren't finished. But I got a little
oh, cute. Oh,
I got a little collection of all the paint cans I've crushed, and then I'm just turning them into. None of these are done yet, but they're cute little collector's cards.
Installing them.
oh my god.
I've been flirting with maybe like different ways to finish them. So there is some lip here, so I could possibly fill them with epoxy. Maybe a friend of mine might have some advice on how to do that.
Why don't you put a resin on it?
Yeah, there, like fill it.
Make them into
right?
coasters. Make them into coasters.
Oh, or yeah, I like this a lot. I like that idea a lot.
Zach.
Yeah, because you just make it self-leveling, so you just pour it on there and then use the little lids or the lips.
Yeah,
It can be like you could paint it on top, and then when you put the cup down, there you go.
Zach.
Boom.
I think you should put a big dollop of silicone on the back and slap tag them.
I was thinking that.
Oh yeah. Like big stickers. Yeah, I was thinking about even like a nail through it. Hammer them up to electrical posts.
I
Bang.
I think like silicone, and I have a
Yep,
question.
like PL, like some construction grade glue.
Just silicone, like bathroom silicone.
Yeah, but we're talking archival. I want some archival. I was gonna get involved with a framing lady
Yeah.
and put them all behind glass.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be nice if they were in like 1 foot by 1 foot, frames. Oof. I bet
Hey,
that'd be
Zach,
nice.
ever do like climbing? And I know that you've done some climbing for your art, but I mean, were you also like involved in like those like climbing rooms where you trained and did like rock climbing?
Not too much. No,
But you are quite a climber.
I could. Yeah. Oh yeah. Look at this grip.
Do you have a technique for increasing your height for slap tags?
Yes. Yeah. Bikes or your skateboard or a dumpster, whatever you can, like something to like a ladder, that's not actually a ladder.
Yeah, I saw
That's a good trick.
something that kind of like it happens every now and then. I see somebody else doing something and think, wow, I never thought of that. And it was pretty revolutionary, but it was a guy putting slap tags on parking signs and street signs.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the signs, they're like, it's a pole, and sometimes
As slotted.
like, yeah.
Yo.
Is that something?
That's a move.
Did you just see that on a
I just seen it. Yeah, whatever, on a TikTok or whatever. Yeah.
same one, but like I was like, oh, that's how did that get by me?
That's brilliant.
All the bad ideas that I've had, how did that not be one?
Yeah. I got caught climbing on a bike doing the same thing. I kind of lean the bike on the sign.
Yeah.
And then hop up on the seat, and you're standing up on the seat, and then you can get to any, you get another 2.5 feet, 3 feet off of that, 4 feet off the bike or whatever.
Yeah.
And the police pulled up, and they were like confused. They're like, "What are you doing up there?" And my hands are just covered in blue paint, and I'm like, "Nothing." And they're like, "Oh, it looks like some mischief or something." And I said, "Looks like there's a bunch of garbage on the ground." I'm like, maybe you guys could like, do some real work instead of hassling me.
Yeah.
Anyway, they took my marker and let me go, and I had pizza later. But like, it was pretty tense. It was pretty tense.
How old were you?
I was like 30 and change. Yeah.
I think that the
Yeah. So they were like talking to an adult when I was like, yeah, go back to work. What are you doing?
yeah, I pay your taxes.
Yeah.
Do you find that like getting into mischief as an adult is like, do you get a little more leeway?
Oh yeah. When a kid comes up to you and is like, "Hey, don't do that, sir," you're like, "Yeah, fuck off."
Hey, Zach, you should take those round things you were showing. You could put them in a shadow box. Like
Slap tag.
Mm-hmm.
And you could actually put resin in the front so it kind of makes them pop.
So it's still, because I almost don't want to admit this, but I used like I filled one with glue, like a clear glue, like as a cheap resin, like a kind of a cheater resin, kind of like peasant resin. Yep. And it really like, it elevated it, like all, like it's quite textured. There's like really hideous texture on here. And then the like peasant resin like just softened it up. And I can imagine that like quality resins or like, quality covers would actually do some real justice. Like it just elevates the.
Yeah.
There's a company in Calgary called Resonate. If you order anything over 55, they do free shipping to you.
Oh, okay. Resonate.
Yeah.
Shout out Resonate. Sponsor me. Yeah, message me if you could. Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, if you put them in a shadow box, I
What
think
the
they'd look
coaster
awesome. You just
idea?
hang them all
The
on the wall.
coaster idea is brilliant.
Yeah, that's another idea too. I like that too.
Yeah. But I do want. It's kind of they're a lot of work. It doesn't look like it, but like there's like it's small, so you're like I'm working hard to get these lines. So
Yeah.
I would like it to be presented more as fine art and less as like Etsy project.
No, you could do like really cool stuff with it. You could make it a coaster, or you could make it a shadow box.
I really like that. That like behind glass, but like with some air.
Yeah. And then people like you have a collection. So you have here's my collection 1, here's my collection 2, here's my collection 3.
Right.
Just giving ideas.
Yeah. I'd like to have a clown show. It's like my least anticipated or least
We like your clowns.
they're cool, but yeah, I'm making a transition post Japan. I'm like a white guy who just went to Japan, and now I'm doing Buddhas. I'm changing gears. I'm
I used
evolving.
to be a clown?
I'm over it. That was my last one.
Oh.
Zach, did I ever tell you I used to be a professional clown?
That doesn't surprise me. I think I must have known.
And 100% by accident. It was like a complete accident that I became a clown.
What were you doing, like birthdays, or you were doing?
Teresa's birthday, and then like actually I had that flashback fear when they asked me to shoot Teresa's wedding. It's like,
Oh, no.
Bongo the clown, can he come back? I'm like, Bongo's funny when he's in the mood.
Bongos.
It's like Steve Martin in Parenthood.
Was he a clown?
He was a cowboy clown. Yeah.
Was he a clown all the time, or
In the film, no, it was just for his kid's birthday. No, he just like had to save the day. Yeah.
My problem. That's what I did. But what happened is
Yeah.
the neighbors saw and they got very excited and wanted to be more of a clown.
More of a
And
clown.
it's really, really, really uncomfortable if you're not in the mood to be a clown. If you're in the mood
Yeah.
to be a clown, it's a pretty great job. But
Yeah, that's rare.
some clown makeup, do some tumbling, ride the unicycle around, jump on the stilts, do some balloon animals. All of the stuff that I learned to be a clown was just stuff I'd learned unconnected. And then I was tasked with hiring a clown, and I just decided to do it myself. But the neighbors liked it so much they wouldn't leave me alone, and I ended up doing more clowning under the guise of Bongo. Was my
Nice.
I would say my clowning outfit and makeup really, really, I don't even know if I knew it at the time, but I think my years of being an Alberta boy, I really looked a lot more like a rodeo clown than a party clown.
Mm-hmm.
It was the 90s. We got to go. It's almost 10 o'clock.
Okay. Love you. Miss you. Thank you.
Love you. Take care.
Why didn't that bounce back up and put it here? You're not going to sing? Okay.